say what's wrong or right.
No,
It's not hard to fool me,
no.
'cause I'm addicted to the good life.
Yes.
Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say
No.
where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no better one. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. It's not a problem,
No.
'cause I know what I'm getting into.
Yes.
Yeah, and nothing can stop me,
No.
'cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Yeah.
Shout out to you, gentlemen, that are here with Andre and Andreas. Love crossing borders.
I'm gonna just say it. A lot of y'all ain't leaving the United States, Canada, UK. A lot of us aren't. A lot of us aren't leaving because of money. Many of us are putting ourselves in good economic positions to choose whatever country you want to go to. A lot of us aren't leaving because, family members. No, family members have been telling us for the longest to go live our lives in other countries. Number one reason why a lot of us just aren't leaving, well, because we don't know how to let that particular woman go. Yeah. A lot of us don't know how to stop texting when it's over. A lot of us don't know how to stop dropping by her house. Since we can't let her go, then we don't let ourselves go. We're going to talk about that topic tonight. Why do men have a tendency of staying too long? And what are some of the red flags and signs that many of us have gone through that we might be staying in a bad relationship just a little too long? Whether you're in the States or out of the States, you have to monitor your relationship. So we're going to talk about that here tonight on Andre and Andreas Love Crossing Borders. And we got a special guest tonight, our brother Todd, who works with men when it comes to mental health, as well as Todd also helps individuals when it comes to understanding the value of peace, joy, happiness in your life. We have a lot of people that make a lot of money in the United States. I'll say that again. A lot of us make a lot of money in the United States. But if you aren't happy, you can end up like Robin Williams, who took his own life, and a lot of other people that were very famous, very well off. A lot of people that weren't famous, but they were very well off, took their own lives. So just because you live in a country in which you make a lot of money and have a lot of opportunity, your happiness, your peace, your joy is just as important, well, as the money that you're making. Some people say, I'd rather be rich and miserable than poor and happy. Well, it depends on what perspective you're looking from. When it comes to valuing life, the one life you get. So at the end of the day, gentlemen, we're going to be talking about red flags that you can look out for in any relationship. When you know, hey, I'm talking about relationships where it's over, y'all done, but why are you still texting that woman? I'm talking about relationships or marriages that you're in the middle of right now. And if you're seeing some of these red flags, and I'm talking about some of us that are overseas that are trying to date women, and yeah, all the red flags are there. Sometimes we don't want to talk about it as men, but tonight we're men, ain't we? We men. So we're going to talk about it on this Sunday night. Shout out to all you guys that are here. Shout out to all you guys that are here. Going to give you guys a few minutes to come in before our guest shows up. We're going to look at a video montage, little montage of the topic for tonight. Like I said, one of the reasons a lot of guys don't leave the United States or Canada or UK or whatever it may be in the West, it's not because of your economics. It's not because of your education. It's not because you're worried or scared to go to another country. One of the reasons is a lot of dudes just don't know how to let go of the chick from the past. They just don't know how to let go of that lady. Shout out to my brother David Dice in the building. Glad to see that you're here, Dave. Dave says this. He said, shout out or salute to Andre and Andre, the family. Glad to see that you're here. And salute to the chat brothers. Salute. Shout out to my brother Tevin King in the building. Tevin says this. Greetings, Andre and Andre. Happy Sunday afternoon. Yes, we had a great Sunday afternoon. Shout out to all you guys out there in the West Coast, Midwest. Good afternoon to you guys. We had a great afternoon. We got up early this morning, went to church, got a chance to meet up with some of the guys, the Black Manosphere guys. For you guys that are thinking about going to the Black Manosphere Conclave, be ready. I'll have a little more information on that for you. And we're going to try to get an interview with Theo this week or next week in regards to more information that the Black Manosphere Conclave has coming down the turnpike. Shout out to my brother. Let me see if I can get this one again. Shisnerville. Hope I pronounce. Shisnerville. Hope I pronounced that correctly, brother. If I pronounced it wrong, let me know, brother. Let me know. I want to make sure I pronounce it right. Since you are part of the family here on Love Crossing Borders, I want to respect your name. He said, "What's up?" He said, "What's good, man? Having a great night, man. I cannot complain. I'm having a really, really good night. I'm excited about this topic. I won't lie. I'm glad my man Todd is on board. I've been here. Okay, let me pause this for a minute. I'm not going to go into a rant. I promise you. I'm going to stop the music for a second. I've been here. How I got to Colombia, I literally had to do this that we're talking about tonight. I had to let go of situations with certain women in order to walk in my destiny of relocating to another country. This before I knew I was going to come to Colombia and all this. And I was in a solidified situation. And once I finally realized I was going to relocate to another country, didn't know which one it was, I had a choice. I could keep stringing this person along, or I could tell them the truth about my dream and my destiny and let the chips fall where they may. Now, here's the kicker. This is what the topic for tonight is about. I could have stayed in the States. And if she would have eventually, 6 months later, left me, now I'm hurt. Two-part hurt. I'm hurt because she left me when I should have left her first. 6 months later, she left me. So I'm hurt about that. And I'm hurt because I should have left her and lived out my destiny to live in another country. If I would have done that, if I wouldn't have told her the truth, if I wouldn't have put my black cowboy hat on and played the villain and told the person the truth that I didn't want to live in the United States anymore. And we have been seeing each other for a while, off and on for about 2 or 3 years. I had to be honest. I would not be here today, bruh. And 9 times out of 10, based off the topic tonight, she would have eventually left me anyway because she would have saw how miserable I was or how torn I was. She would have never known my true intentions was to leave the United States. I would have been a miserable man for her. She would have left me, and now I'm hurt because she left when I should have left her 6 months ago. So I know this scenario. Don't think I know. I'm going to be talking about a topic tonight with, once again, our brother Todd will be here. Don't think I'm going to be talking about a topic tonight that I have not lived. I know what it's like to want to stay with a woman that treats you good, but knowing your destiny is calling you to do something different. And if I would have stayed, we know statistically 80% of women break up the relationships, right? So 9 times out of 10, when it was time for her and I to break up, she would have left me just on stats. And I wouldn't have been living in my destiny. So sometimes some of you guys are still in the States because you don't know how to stop texting that one chick. I'm being honest. I love you, brothers. Shout out to Zarby in the building. In the building, the Detroit boys.
You better back the fuck up out my face, goddammit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Don't play with me.
Don't play with that, man. You know how them Detroit dudes do. What up, though, Jay? What up, though? Love you too, Jay. We had a good time in church today, man. Really good church service today. Really, really good worship. LJD, another deacon, is in the building. Glad to see that you're here, LJ. He said, great. He said, what's good, Dre? This topic, man. Hey, like I said, this topic is going to be a good one. And we're going to have a special guest. Let me make sure I have my phone in position just in case he has any emergencies with the links that I sent him to join me. It's so cool. He's good. And then we have my brother Bruce in the building. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Bruce. Hope you're having a good night, brother. A great night. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another one of the Detroit boys. Them 313 boys are at it.
You better back the fuck up out my face, goddammit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Don't play with me.
Don't play with that man. Do not play with that man. Shout out to my man Leo Gaines in the building. Them Cali boys. Cali, he said Dre in the chat. Yes, sir. Shout out to you, brother. Glad to see that you're here. Guys, do me a favor. Make sure you click the like button. That invites other individuals into the live stream. That's how YouTube works. When you click the like button, it says, hey, people like this. Let's invite other people. My brother First Class is in the building. Glad to see Mario here. You're gonna like this one tonight, Mario. I kid you not. First Class in the place to be. In the place to be. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing great, man. I feel like I always say, I'm like the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. Shout out to my brother E-Man Perry. What's good? What's good? What up, though? Yes, sir. What it do? And my brother Rico is in the building. Rick says this. Happy Sunday, Andre and chat. Happy birthday weekend. What? It's your birthday weekend, Rick? Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday to you if it's your birthday weekend, man. Glad to see that you're here. And shout out to my brother Pharaoh Ishmael with his new membership. Shout out to you, brother. Glad to see that you're here, man. And thank you for supporting. He says this, first class, he says, Dre, that watch is looking real heavy. Is it Invictus? Why, yes, my friend. It is an Invictus. It is a Invictus. It's not the Russian diver. I got a couple of Russian divers over there. It's an Invictus Navigator. Yep. And it is heavy. Yes, it is. You are correct, my friend. You are correct. Those Invictuses are some heavy watches. This is actually a 48 millimeter. I used to have the grand one, the 62 millimeter one they had. Wait a minute. Still got one. Hold on. I got a 58 millimeter. Hold on. No, this one is 50. This is a 52. This is a 50. I think this one's 48. And this one is a 52. Invictus. Yep. So this one's heavy too. But I used to have the giant one. Then I was like, yeah, I may not want to be walking around with giant watches in Colombia. Giant gold watches. So I used to have the largest one that they had. Shout out to Invictus. I got a few Invictus watches. I got a Russian diver, black Russian diver. He said, yo, Dre, I bought, oh, did you? You bought the 35 today? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All you guys that's out there that like to exercise with the kettlebells, that's what me and Jeffrey are talking about. We love the kettlebells. Yes, sir. Shout out to Andrew Craig in the building. He says this. He say, I'm here early. You right on cue, brother. He say, interesting topic tonight. Like I mentioned before, for you guys that weren't here earlier, I literally lived this topic. I would not be here today if it was not for this topic that we're talking about. And I'm not saying that flippantly. I would not be in Colombia. I would not know you. There will be no Love Crossing Borders. There will be me being involved in a Black Manosphere Conclave. There will be no written books. There will not be any traveling to all these different countries where I've met many of you guys. There will be no consultations. No me and my uncle hanging out in Colombia. None of this would have happened if I would not have done what we're talking about tonight. I kid you not. None of this would have happened. I was calculating the other day. And I'm kind of disappointed in myself too. But I calculated the other day. We have made over $888,000 in the last 7 years doing social media. $880,000 in social media. Here's the kicker. I'm not talking about the money part. I'm talking about the fact that if I wouldn't have believed in myself enough, believed in God enough, believed in destiny enough, and I would have stayed in my comfortable life in Florida. I had a really good life in Florida. None of this life would have happened. None of this life. I've learned so much about believing in yourself and taking a chance. And the worst thing that could happen is, you try again. And all this stemmed from tonight's topic. I mean that. I really mean that. Tonight's topic was, if I could give you guys any advice on how did Andre do it, it was tonight's topic. My brother Growth in the building. Growth in the building. Kofa says this. He says, don't wait to leave a relationship or a country. This is true, my friend. He said, one night probably cost me about 5 to 10 years here because now my son is here. You can't beat that testimony. He's right. If he had left when he was supposed to leave, or when he was called to leave, I mean, shout out to Lil Man being here. Shout out to his son being here. I can't put that down. But he could have had his son in another country. I'm just saying. So he's right. He's right, guys. Ishmael says this. He said, we got to tell the South American lovers that they need passport cards because they're putting Trump mud face on the regular pass. Yeah, bruh. Yeah, I had to brace myself, Ishmael, for I know when I get my passport renewed in a few months, I'm going to be stuck with Trump on the front of it for the next 10 years. Because the new passport books got Trump on it. Yeah. Dave says this with the $10 love. He said, I dealt with a party chick and attempted to be with her knowing the red flags. After that, I haven't taken any chick seriously since the last Wu-Tang since the last Wu album. He said, now I know better. He said, now I know better thinking with the right head. Absolutely correct, brother. That's a good point. That is a good point. Shout out to all 31 of you guys in the building. Our guest will be here in a minute, and then we're going to get started. But until then, we're going to continue with the shout-outs. Let me scroll down a little further, see who else we got here. Simple Logic, them VA men at it again. Shout out to VA in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just made my night. Glad to see you here, Simple Logic. Hope you're having a great evening, brother. Really hope you're having a great evening. Let's scroll down a little further. We got our brother El Patron in the building, doing what he does best, supporting. Yes, sir. He said, what's good, family? Having a good night, man. We got a great topic tonight, man. The red flags that let you know this is the beginning of the end. Yeah. This is the beginning of the end. When you know that it's over, when you know that you know. Shout out to you brothers over there on Andre's channel, my brother Bruce and Don, aka Don D. Don JP. Glad to see that you're over there on Andre's channel. He said, Andre and Andrea, and to all the chat. Yes, sir. And shout out to my brother Montrez in the building. Mr. Montgomery himself. Brother Dre, what's going on, family? Got a great topic for you tonight, brother. Great topic for you tonight. Really do. Reek says this. He said, I wish I would have had this information in 2000. He said, after my first marriage, he said, I would have been out of here. He said, I got 4 more years to go. Count down. It's going to go by fast, bro. I know it sounds like 4 years, but I promise you, 4 years goes by fast. Yes, sir. And shout out to my brother Bean in the building. Glad to see that you're here, Bean. He says this. He said, hello, Andre. He said, how you feeling on this Sunday evening? I'm feeling great, brother. Glad that you asked, man. Hope you're having a good one, man. Hey, Bean, let me know where you're coming out of, man. I never asked you what location of the country or countries that you're coming out of, man. Shout out to you. And, of course, good morning to our brother Ronan Travelers. Glad to see that you're here. He said, salute, I love crossing borders. My brother, Dre, he said, good morning from the Philippines. Just waking up. Looking forward to hearing this one. I got my cafe along with you, brother. Great live stream last night. Great live stream. Everybody was giving their point of view about living in the United States, living outside the United States. I'm more, you know me, I'm an earthling. I try my best to try to find value in all countries. I think America's a great country. I think Canada's a great country. in its own right. I think that the Philippines has this benefits that America doesn't have. I see America has benefits that Colombia doesn't have. I think Colombia has benefits that Brazil doesn't have. I think Brazil has benefits that Portugal doesn't have. So me, I'm more like bits and pieces of the planet. Bits and pieces of the planet. That's why I call myself an Earthling and not just an American, because I know there's a bits and pieces of the planet. But you guys had a great live stream last night, man. If you guys ever get a chance and you're up at night, it's morning over there with Ronan and those guys. So if you're up late at night, man, you can't sleep, man, make sure you subscribe to Ronan. Ronan, do me a favor, drop the link to your channel. Drop the link to your channel, to Fearless channel, to a Black Man's Travel channel, and to some of the other guys. If you don't mind, brother, if you don't mind dropping the links for you guys' channel. They always have some great content over there late at night for you guys. Great content. He says this. He said, for guys, Montrez said, he said, for guys who don't have kids, like myself, please protect your seed at all costs. Absolutely correct. Oh. Patrol says, he said, what was the last Wu album? 8 Diagrams. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys know. Maybe you guys know the answer to that one. Shout out to Poor Man 313, them Detroit boys once again.
You better back the fuck up out my face, goddammit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Don't play with me.
Don't play with that, man. You know how you know them Detroit boys. You know how they get. Let me make sure our guest is okay and fine. All right, cool. Perfecto. And we got my brother LJZ, Southern Vegan. He said, glad I got my passport before 45, 47. I know. So even when Trump is out of office, we are still stuck. Every time we open up our passport, we stuck with this dude's face on it. He couldn't just leave stuff the way that it is, man. I mean, I don't know what happened with Trump when he was a kid, but you could tell this dude was picked on. He's got psychological issues, man. The man, let's be honest, okay? He an old dude. He probably got another 5-10 years, man. And he trying to put his name and face on everything. Y'all gonna remember me. I remember all them years y'all picked on me when I was a kid. Now look at me. I'm president. That man, whatever pain he went through as a kid, he want all of us to pay for it. This ain't messing with the passport ain't got nothing to do with being a president. Presidents have come and presidents have gone. Ain't no president put their face on the passport. Here come Trump. Boy, that man is hurting. That man is hurting. Make sure I get everybody, including my brother Jay Fleming, in the building. Shout out to Jay. Salute to you, brother. Hope you're having a great weekend, man. I know you did last week. Hope you're having a great one this week, man. Let me scroll down a little further because we got my brother Andrew Craig Jr., that is. He says this. He said, thanks for the under 40 pep talk from the previous live stream. Hope that he said, hope that part is a separate clip. Most needed here. You know what? I'm glad that you said that. I'm going to drop that in the Patreon. I'm going to take that clip and separate it. Yep. I'll probably do that after the show. Shout out to Fearless. Make sure you guys subscribe to our brother Fearless. I'm telling you, him and his wife and his daughter is growing overnight. That young lady is growing overnight. Goodness gracious. She's making your boy feel old. Shout out to brother Fearless, man. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Always got great content. Excellent. One of the top, I would easily say, his editing style. There are 3 guys I consider my favorite editors. Their editing style. Richie Mack, of course. The Tip Network, the Tip Network, those guys over there, their editing style is crazy. And Fearless. Fearless is in my top 3 favorite editors to watch on YouTube. I'll throw an honorable mention in there like O'Shea Duke Jackson, but I kid you not. Fearless, yeah, his editing is crazy. And he gives a mess. You know what Fearless reminds me of? What his shows. It reminds me of an episode of The Cosby Kids when you're a kid. You can laugh along with it, but there was always a message. That's what Fearless does. You always having fun watching his videos, but there's always a solid message. That's what I like about his editing style. Shout out to Fearless. Yes, sir. Make sure you guys subscribe to the brother's channel. Support men supporting men. Bean said he's from the Chi. What? I know you from the Chi. Let me show the Chi some love.
And you say Chi City? Chi City? Chi City? Coming home again.
Yes, sir, man. I used to hang out in, of course, live in the Chi for a few years, and I used to hang out in Champaign. I had this chick I was smashing in Champaign, Illinois, down there by the college. So I used to roll down there and smash that chick down there. Yes, sir. Shout out to D. Kirk in the building. Glad to see that you're here. He said, Dre, chat. Glad to see you're here. He said, Dre, I looked up on the passport. It's a limited. Oh, okay, cool. It's a limited edition one. So you have to apply for it. Okay. Man, hey, you just gave me some peace. Yes, you did. You just gave me a peace of mind. Yes, you did. That's what's up, man. Okay, so now I get it. Because I thought it was just automatic on everybody's passport and you didn't have a choice. And now you stuck with President Trump on your passport for the next 10 years. So, okay, cool. Cool. Because I'm definitely going to be renewing mine. Mine is due 2027. I forget which month, but I'm just going to go ahead and renew it and get it out of the way. Go ahead and renew it. Just get it out of the way. Don't even play with it. Let me continue on with the shout outs. Yes, sir. Looks like I got everybody. D. Kirk said, he said the ones issued online won't have his image on it. Man, you blessing my night, brother. You are blessing my night. Yes, sir. LJ says this. He said, agreed. He said, Fearless videos have laughter and lessons every time. Every time. His editing style, what he teaches you, you're going to laugh along with them and you're going to learn something. Just like an episode of the old Cosby Show cartoon with Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. That's how it reminded me of, like Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. I'm gonna have a good time watching it, and there is a deep, important message. And his editing style is just crazy, bruh. He said, "Me and my dad are getting cards." Okay, cool. Yeah, man. Yeah. With Trump on there, you looking like what? Yes, sir. And make sure I got everybody, everyone. Like I said, my guest Todd will be coming up soon. Todd moved here from Bogota a few years back. He's happily married. So if any of you guys are interested in, when you come down to Colombia, you're interested in going to Bogota, Todd is the man. He knows everything about that area. Him and his wife also runs a soccer league for children, for the young kids in Bogota. So he's very, very much involved in Bogota, Colombia. First Class says this. Manio says this. Mano. I said that wrong. Mano. He said, I just got back from Miami from Colombia. He said, I was there for a month. I hear a good story coming along real quick. He said, it was hard to leave. I knew something was coming. He said, it was hard to leave. Even after a month, looking forward to what's about to take place. Yes, sir, man. Countdown. Count. And I'll say this. Let me change the music over for us, guys. You said it is pronounced Schnitz. It's Schnitzerville. Did I say it correctly? Schnitzerville. Schnitzerville. Let me know if I pronounced it correctly that time. Schnitzerville. Yeah, man. I want to make sure I pronounce your name correctly, man. I appreciate that. Schnitzerville. And I might forget a couple times. You know me. I might forget one more time, but if you correct me one more time on another episode in the future, blame it on my brains, not my heart. Let me change the music up for us, gentlemen. We got 38 in the building. Appreciate all 38 of you guys being here. Thank you for the support by way of PayPal, Cash App, Super Chats, as well as Bitcoin. Appreciate you guys. Let's change this up. Like I was saying, man, tonight's topic is very important because I lived it. I tell you what, the biggest blessing of relocating I received, and I mean it. The biggest blessing I received was leaving her when I knew it wasn't going to work before she left me, and we both knew it wasn't going to work. I left first, and I'm not talking about my first wife. I'm talking about a relationship I was in right before I decided to relocate to another country, right before I started coming to Colombia, right before I started going on monk mode, right before I started being a lot more focused about and serious about travel. I was dating somebody, real cool person, but at the end of the day, I discovered that I wanted to relocate and live in another country. So how do I tell somebody that I know is not going to work out not because of her, not because of me, but because my destiny said you're going to live in another country? So I could have did this. It's like a quiz. I could have stayed and pretend like I still loved her until I bought my flight ticket and disappeared on her and had her crying. That's A. That's option A. I could have lied to her and pretended like I still want to live in the States, like I always wanted to be in a relationship with her, and nothing was going to ever change. A, I could have lied and did that. B, I could have did something to make her break up with me. I could have waited until the relationship was going to fall apart. She would have broke up with me. She still would have cried. She still would have been hurt. I would have been hurt. And all I had to do was tell the truth, but I did B. I let her. In other words, I put all the weight on her. Or C. Once I realized that I didn't want to live in the States anymore, even though I was with this person kicking it, I was honest. And I told her the truth. And it wasn't easy. And like I've mentioned to some of you brothers before, she cried like a baby, bruh. I ain't gonna lie. I have never seen anybody cry like that as a grown woman. Not because I've seen women cry because they've lost, loved ones. But I'm talking about like in a relationship, like broke down, just you gotta hold them to stay. You gotta hold them to stand up. I mean, your shirt just drenched wet with tears from holding that person while they crying. Yeah, bruh. It was that deep. And when I walked out of her apartment, I felt like a monster. What did you do? Maybe you should go back. Maybe moving to another country really is not what you're going to be doing. Are you sure you want to do this? She's a good catch, Dre. She makes $200,000, $300,000 a year, Dre. She flies you anywhere she flies to. Dude, when I told you I was getting flew out, I was getting flew out. She flies, she takes care of you. You take care. Dude, what more do you want, Dre? She give you fire sex. Fire freaky sex. What more do you want, Dre? I kid you not, all these thoughts were running through my mind as I was walking back to my car, about to drive home. I was so tempted to go back and say, baby, I was wrong. And I would have been lying to her if I went back, and I would have been lying to myself if I went back. A lot of times people say, Dre, you are extremely transparent. I see you back there, Todd. You are extremely transparent with your stories. The reason why I'm transparent with my stories, guys, because there's a lot about Dre, you guys know. There's still a lot to learn about your boy Dre. But the reason why I'm transparent with these type of stories, because I know I'm not the only one that's in those situations to where you're like, man, I like this person, but I'm not going to be here. I really like them, but I'm not going to be here. So how do I handle this? So we're going to be talking about this tonight with our brother Todd. I'm going to bring Todd up right now. He's going to introduce himself. Shout out to our brother Todd.
Sir, Godfather, how are you?
I am doing great, like Tony the Tiger, brother.
Awesome. I appreciate the opportunity, man, to spend some time with you, man, and break bread and talk about some things. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I was telling guys about your professionalism when it comes to helping individuals understand the importance of happiness, joy, peace in their lives, working with men, you being a college professor before you came down here. Give, for guys that don't know you and your content and your newsletter that we're going to be newsletters in which we're going to be talking about later on.
Okay.
Introduce yourself to guys.
Todd Allen, a reformed college professor. I taught economics and business for 24 years. I also helped create the Jack Welch School of Management. And for those who don't know who Jack Welch was, he was considered the top business executive of the century. So I was working to help create the Jack Welch School of Management as a dean for the Chancellor University at the time. My focus is on information and education and helping people make better choices and decisions for their lives. I don't focus on telling people what to think. I help them gather the information so they can make an informed decision for themselves. No understanding of who they are. You know, when Moses was being sent by the Most High to set his people free in Israel, he asked him, he said, well, who should I say sent me? He said, I am. And so I think that that's the most important thing that we can kind of figure out for ourselves is when we know who we are, now we can operate at a higher level, at the highest level possible to better our lives and improve our lives and improve the lives of those around us.
Great point. Really good point. Excelente. All right. And give a breakdown to the guys of, because I spoke about you living in Bogota for a minute. Right. But give them a little rundown of how you got to, because this is the part I didn't know.
What's that?
I've never heard your beginning story of how you got to Bogota. You and I kind of like, we've been knowing each other, but we kind of grazed over that part of it's just okay. Todd's in Bogota, and that's it. That's all I know.
Right. How I got to Bogota, I was. True story. I was 0 for 2 in the marriage department. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with the local piece here in the States. And so let me see what's abroad. And I had always been interested in global travel and things because I have a master's in international business and I also have a second concentration in finance. So international things have always been near and dear to my heart, but was never had the courage to pull the trigger. So met my wife. We actually met in Latin American Cupid. And what was interesting about that, is how we met is based upon our values. I was sitting in a chair with my goddaughter. I had her in my lap and I had a Siddur, which is a type of scripture that is also in Hebrew. And so she texts me, she says, what do you know about that book? I'm like, what do you know about this book? And so that kind of got the conversation going because I found that we practice our faith the same way, and our values are the same when it comes to, our belief systems and how we go about living our lives. And so that was the attraction. She's a praying woman, and as a man, you need that because out here slaying dragons, you need somebody that's going to be on their knees praying for you. And so that was the gist how we met. We had conversations, and we've met several times. We met in Cancun, and then we also met here in Colombia. And the idea was for us to get married here in Colombia and then to move back to the States. Well, we had two ceremonies. The first ceremony was the matrimonial civil, that was in July. And then we had our religious ceremony with her group, I won't say church group because it's yeah. But what was interesting is that my rabbi spoke with her pastor, and they had a mutual friend who was a rabbi from Israel. So they're all talking about me. So it was almost like an arranged marriage.
Right.
So we got married in July and for the civil ceremony, and then we had our religious ceremony in October. I'm going to send you pictures at a later date so you can see.
What year, Ty?
Huh?
What year?
2020.
Okay, there we go.
No, wrong. 2019. So in October 2019, we got.
Wait a minute. 2019
Yes, sir.
October.
Yes, sir.
Man, you guys got married like maybe a month and a week before Andrea and I, because we're December 13th.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Well, what we should plan to do, man, is just celebrate our anniversaries together, man.
I know, right?
That'd be awesome, bro. Yeah.
Oh, brother, I did not know that.
Yeah.
We've been knowing each other too long. We got a lot of questions that are unanswered.
Yeah, that's. And what was so special about that is my mom flew down with 5 of my friends.
Right.
To my wedding here in Bogota.
That's what's up.
And if I get a little bit emotional, it's because I lost my mom here this year.
My condolences.
My mother loved Colombia. I mean, the flowers, Bogota is a little bit colder than where you are.
Right.
But the mountains, the flowers, the people treated her with so much respect. She absolutely loved Colombia. And, not only was she here for my wedding, but then she came to visit in 2024 as well. My mom passed this year in January 8th. And so we got married on the 27th. The goal was to go back to the U.S., and prepare for her to come to the U.S. Well, COVID hit, everything shut down. I was teaching economics at the time, and I wasn't the dean at this point. I was teaching a regular classroom, but I was the head of the department. And we didn't know when. COVID changed everybody's lives. We didn't know what was going to happen. So Colombia closed its borders in January. It didn't open back up until September.
Yep.
And we were separated literally the first year of our marriage.
Wow.
And so we didn't know when the schools were going to be back up. Everything was basically online. So I said, well, I'll just sell everything here and live in Colombia. Because being married and being separated was, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, it was terrible. Not knowing if you'd ever see the woman that you profess your life to, if you'd ever see her again. And so in that time, I sold everything. When they opened back up in September, I sold everything and I moved here October 5th, 2020. The next year I was on sabbatical in 2021. So I was able to spend 2 years here without, having to go back to the US. And I fell in love with Colombia. And, the Most High has a way of waking you up. You know, my grandfather used to say, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Right, right.
But you hit him in the back of the head with a 2x4 and you sure get his attention. So the Most High got my attention, and he said, you know, this is where I want you, literally and figuratively. He said, this is where I want you. And, you know, the journey has been interesting. I've learned a lot. I've had to learn a new language. I've had to learn a new culture. And I created a youth soccer team here so I can be ingrained in the community. The first year that we had our soccer team, we had 100 kids. Right now we have about 50 or so, mostly chiquitinis. And I love the little kids, the little chiquitinis. We take them at 5 years old. And just to hear them laughing and enjoying themselves and the community embracing us. And, you know, I'm the gringo of Fontibon. Right. So I love it. And you know, I have a lot I appreciate my wife immensely. April 4th, I came down with a bout of shingles. April 4th of this year. I'm still recovering and still in a lot of pain today. But to have the support of my wife, and I know that we're going to be talking about these kinds of things, but I think, and I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I know that you're married to a Colombiana, the mindset and the culture of wives here in Colombia is one of nurturing, one of making sure that you're all right. And when you suffer, they suffer.
Yeah. Yeah. When you got a good one, I kid you not, man, they feel everything that you go through. There is nothing that you experience that your wife in Colombia, I think it's a Latin thing. When you got a good Latin woman, man, dude, they are on your team. Dude, it for a good Latin, I kid you not, guys, we're not exaggerating. When it comes to the good women, and I think I'm not just gonna say Latin, I'll say even Asian women and the women in other countries around the world. When you got a good one, man, for her to leave you when you are in destitute is like pulling teeth. She is not going to leave. She is on your team through the good, the bad, all of it, man. All of it. That's one thing I can say I'm at. That gives me a sense of peace that I don't have to question whether Andrea is going to be there or not. What if this happens? What if that happens? She's been there for me through ins and outs, 2 surgeries here, you know, and they will nurture you back to life. You are 100% correct, Todd.
Yeah.
100% correct.
We had a conversation just last night, and she said her biggest fear is losing me and being alone. And I'm like, you're young, you're attractive. I mean, it'd be the next man up. And she got angry with me. You know, she's like, no. And you know, I said it jokingly, but seriously, you know, but her mindset is not that. Her mindset is, if something were to happen to me, she would be alone the rest of her life. And what I found is that for many women here in Colombia who have been married, if they've lost their husband for whatever reason, that is kind of, it's almost like they're eternally mourning.
Yeah. Yeah. Andrea's on both sides, the only people Andrea has, like uncles and maybe one cousin, Andrea's lost on both sides of the family, right? Mm-hmm. So I say 90% of Andrea's family on both sides are still alive. But the grandfathers have passed on. And you are right. Where the women could have moved on after the passing on of their husbands, right. They didn't. They do still. If you mention their husbands, or in Colombia, if a certain song comes on the radio, grandma starts crying. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there. I kid you not, just sitting there boo-hooing. Yeah. Because they still miss their husbands, and their husband may have passed on 30 years ago. Yeah. But grandma is, and so they have such an attachment, even when the husband's not the perfect guy.
Right.
they still feel an attachment to their husbands. So any of you guys that are with women in certain countries, I kid you not, even after you gone and you think that she's just gonna forget about you, it's not like, especially here, it's just not like that. They do not forget their husbands. That is so true, Todd. I'm about to say Jeffrey, but Todd. I was looking at Jeffrey on the screen. But Todd, someone had a question for you, Todd, real quick.
Okay.
He said, random question. I don't know if you can see this or not.
Yeah.
He said, how far is Fontibon? You know what that is?
Yeah, that's where I live, Fontibon.
Oh, so Todd lives. Okay, there we go. You can answer that question then.
Yeah. He stayed in Chapinero last February, never went to Fontibon. Usakane was the furthest north. Yeah, Fontibon is south. It's a trucking area. You know, a lot of trucking comes through the Fontibon area, Zona Franca. And it is an interesting community. It's a community of about 70,000. Interesting community, about 70,000. It is, traffic is terrible. They got one road that comes in and one road that goes out, but that's pretty much all over Colombia. But Fontibon is it's where my wife grew up.
Okay.
It's the area that my wife grew up, although she grew up in another part of town. But for me, it's my community because they've embraced me. As I said, the name of my soccer team is called Colusa, Colombia, USA. And, and the kids, you know, when I meet the kid, when we greet, we do like the LeBron James handshakes with the kids. You know, we do rock, paper, scissors all the time. So the kids love that. The community has really embraced me. They've helped me with my Spanish because the first couple of weeks when I was here, it was terrible. I mean, you know, you do Duolingo or you do some classes in the U.S. and you think that you understand something, and you know, you realize that, you know, your understanding of Spanish and ability to speak Spanish is mumbling. They don't understand you and they'll let you know, like, what? But they were
right. Because here in Colombia, they speak such a proper Spanish in most of Colombia outside the Atlantic coast, where they speak more of a Caribbean, faster pace Spanish. But most of Colombia, man, they are, if you mispronounce something, you might as well be saying a completely different word. So they're heavy in pronunciation and enunciation. They say that Colombia, I was reading a survey a couple of years ago and I came across it a couple of times. Colombia has the most properly pronounced Spanish in the world.
Yeah.
They pronounce the words exactly how it's supposed to be pronounced. Like I said, outside the Atlantic coast, like Cartagena and Bogota, where it's more of a Caribbean type of Spanish, where they speak a lot faster. Most of Colombia speaks a very proper type of Spanish, and that's why people come here from around the world just to learn Spanish.
Yes.
Just to learn Spanish.
Absolutely right on that. And you know, I was near Cali. I was in coffee country. I can't remember the name of it, but there's actually a coffee amusement park not too far.
Cafe.
Huh?
Parque Cafe.
Parque Cafe. I was there for a day.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was
Juan Valdez Park.
Yes. Amazing, man. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So anybody that wants to come to Colombia after you see The Godfather, you're welcome to come to Bogota.
Yeah.
But you got to follow protocol, man. You got to see listen, you just can't be coming to Colombia and not recognize The Godfather when you get here. Come on, man. You got to follow protocol. I mean, it's like you recommended me to Murphy, right? And so Murphy called me. He says, "Hey, I know Andre." I'm like, look, I got you.
Yeah.
You come to Bogota. I'll meet you at the airport.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of guys don't know you've been there for quite a while. So if anytime you're coming through Bogota and you want to make sure that you guys have a connection, Todd is that guy. You're right, brother.
Yeah, you but like I said, you got to give deference to the Godfather. Hey, I'm coming to Colombia. Talk to the Godfather first, because if you call me and I'm like, hey, did you talk to the Godfather? No, I ain't gonna holler for you, man. I mean, you ain't vetted.
Yeah, I'm funny style like that though too. That's true. My brother El Patron says, he said, I'm going to Parquet Day Cafe in August, man. You will love it. Man, it feels so good to hear guys going to some of the interior spots in Colombia and not just the exterior areas like Cartagena, Barranquilla, Santa Marta. Those are great locations. Do not get me wrong, but there's a lot to see on the interior of Colombia and where Colombians vacation. That's why I'm glad to hear a lot more, because like I said, for years, man, wasn't nobody going to none of the spots that I was going to. And so it was like, when I mentioned them, the guys be like, well, where is that? I'm like, that's on the interior. So guys weren't going to Armenia. Guys weren't going to Manizales, Pareda. Like I said, we've been to Parquet Cafe. The first time I went was in 2018. 2018, I went to Parquet Cafe. And so you're going to love it. He's going to love it.
Have you been to the volcanic streams?
Yep, absolutely.
We went there.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh.
Hot water streams. Come on.
My gosh.
Come on with waterfalls.
Yeah. You went to the waterfall too?
Yes, sir. I got video of me up under the waterfalls, man. I felt so, man. It was an out of the body experience.
Yes.
To be a black man from the east side of Detroit, and I'm inside of a waterfall.
Correct.
And the water is just coming down on your boy, and I felt like I made it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I made it. It wasn't about riches. It was about how much money I had. It wasn't about Colombia itself. It was just, at that moment, I was just having an out-of-the-body experience of, man, I'm just a regular dude from the D.
Right.
And look how far my life has come.
Right.
You know, to where I am actually not looking at waterfalls on TV or seeing it in the movies. I'm actually here, and I'm not having to go to Niagara Fall, but I'm actually here inside of, and the water is coming down on your boy in a waterfall, man. I loved it, man. I loved it. And that hot water coming down from the volcano, oh, soothing. Soon as you get in that hot pool.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're there with regular people.
Yes.
You're there. So, you know, there's no flossing, there's no shining. You're just there with just regular folks, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, like you said, it's an out of body experience. And I honestly believe that Colombia is part of the Garden of Eden. I really believe that.
Like that, man.
Yeah, it really does.
Even though we know the garden is technically, we understand this in Africa, but a modern day version, oh man, you can't beat Colombia, man. There
depends on if you agree with the Pangea. So
this is true too.
We were all connected at one point, I believe. So
absolutely correct.
Yeah,
that's a good way of putting it. We were all connected as far as land masses.
Yes, sir. Language too.
I know. Yeah, yes, sir. That's absolutely correct too. Let's get started with tonight's topic, Todd. And I saw one of you brothers mentioned about some information on Uruguay and Paraguay. I wrote that down, and I'm going to get some information on that. So sometime this week, we're going to be doing a video on Uruguay, Paraguay. I know some of you guys have been there, so we're going to talk about it. You guys will be able to share information. But I wrote that down. But tonight's topic is about men not knowing. And I have a video montage for us as well. Then we're going to watch the first part of it. But it's about knowing when to leave, especially a relationship situation, because you know that if I don't leave first, she's going to eventually leave me anyway. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times us men will stay a lot longer knowing that the arguments are still there, the disagreements are still there. A better life is waiting for you there. But there are times you feel like, well, maybe I'm making a mistake. Maybe I should hang out in this relationship a little longer. I know we ain't got no kids, but I'm gonna hang out a little longer. And before you give your what you're about to say, I just want to get started with the video. Then we're going to stop the clip, and I want to hear what you have to say. So you can take notes in regards to what you want to say as well.
Let me give y'all 3 signs. 3 signs that you need to leave her alone. And if you're this far in the video, it's only been 5 seconds, but if you're this far in the video, there's a chance that you already have a suspicion that you probably need to leave her alone. The first one being is you feel like you need to fight for her attention. Like you feel like you need to go out of your way to get her attention. If you need to get a girl's attention, she is not paying attention to you. She really.
And Todd, at any point in time, you need for me to just stop, just say, Dre, hold on, stop. And then I'll stop to let you speak too.
Okay,
really
bro.
does not rock with you how you think she does. Leave her alone. Second one is she's lying to you about petty stuff. She's lying to you. That's the biggest sign that a woman does not respect you, is if she cannot even tell you the truth. If she's lying to you about little stuff, there's a lot of other things she's lying to you about and will continue to lie to you about. So leave her alone. Third one is she's constantly picking fights. Like she has an attitude, no matter what you do, no matter what's going on, she's upset and uncomfortable about everything, to the point to where you feel like you can do no right. Everything you do is wrong. And I could be wrong, but I think the reason that is because she wants to leave you without saying it. Either that or she's just extremely uncomfortable around you. Either way, you do not need to be with her. Now, if you're dealing with all 3 of these in combination, that's a huge red flag. But if you're just dealing with one, I scope it out a little bit better to kind of understand what's going on, because it could be deeper than just that. Either way, pay attention, because a girl that rocks with you probably isn't going to be treating you like this.
So anything that she done to me, anything that we went through, I'm going to take it, you know? I'm going to take it on the chin, because that's what men do. If we been 1,000% real, I should have left a long time ago. You know, men stay, women leave.
The hardest part about a woman leaving you, even though you know you should have left her first, it's not the fact that she cheated on you and she made you feel like shit. It's not the fact that you feel like she betrayed you. It's the fact that you leaving that situation, you know that you could have been in control of it. You know that you could have been the one to pull the trigger to end the relationship. And because you didn't, you have to deal with the fact that your sense of self-worth completely diminished.
I want you and need you to be.
Let me move us out of the way so you can see the words. When you catch her cheating, but you still love her. Let's take a look at his woman. This is what he called cheating. This is what he called cheating, but he still love her.
Is that AI, Andre?
No.
Are you gonna?
My boy, are you okay?
Well, I mean,
what was that?
Was it a 304?
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but hey, I know some guys that love their ugly woman and ain't gonna let nobody get to her. Based off of some of the things that the guys just said now,
right?
What do you have to say?
Well, first question is, are they married or are they just dating?
Both.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you why we're doing this regarding marriage as well. We're doing it in three parts, Todd.
Okay.
The first mindset we're focusing on among the men that are here tonight. Shout out to all 61 here. We're focusing on men that are in relationships with a girlfriend and you just know it's not working.
Okay.
And maybe a girlfriend or lady friend that you broke up with and you still just habitually, just by habit, for no reason, you find yourself texting her, even though you don't want to be back with her, but you still find yourself texting every once in a while. Number two, a person that might be in a marriage, but you know it's over. It was over 3 years ago, but you won't pull the trigger. And that's why me personally, Todd, I believe that's why the number is 85% of the women divorce us, because we know and she knew it was over 3 years ago,
right?
5 years ago,
right?
But we keep giving it a chance as men because, you know, we like to stand on the top as men by nature, stand on the top of and plant the flag of victory.
Right.
You know, we made it through this storm and we good.
Right.
To where on the inside, she knows and you know, we know it's over. So a lot of times women like, no, I ain't planting no flag of victory. I'm up out of here. And they start walking down the mountain on us.
Right.
So those are the three groups on the second group. So the first group of individuals that are maybe in a just a boyfriend, girlfriend dating situation, and we just don't know how to let it go. Second one, you might be in a serious relationship and you don't know how to let it go. Third one is just important is guys that are dating women overseas and you don't know how to let her go so you can meet the person who you really need to be with. I've seen guys with women and I know guys that met women overseas that would have met a better woman. Example, met great party girl. She was fun. She was wonderful, sexy Brazilian in Brazil. You tried to make her into a relationship, but you should have been in Thailand or the Philippines if you was looking for a relationship. So I find guys, for example, that go to Brazil and party and have fun, but then when they're looking for something serious, they have a tendency of going to Colombia or dealing with a Venezuelan or going to South Africa or going to or going to Ghana or going to the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia, other locations other than the country in which they found party girls. But then I've met guys the opposite. I've met guys that came to Colombia and partied like a rock star and then went to Brazil and now happily married with their first child. But they had to let go of Colombia first in order to find the woman they wanted or needed in Brazil. So I'm talking to guys that don't know how to let go of the party girls in order to get to the good women that you're going to eventually want to be with.
Yeah. I think it comes down to a level of maturity from the man's side, right?
Shout out to my cousin Michael.
Okay. So when the first thing he said was the fight for attention, the first thing that came to my mind is kids do that, right? Kids fight for attention. Men who understand that they are the prize, you realize that, if you realize who you are, I am. If you are the prize, if you are the one who determines, what happens. I think that in the video that we're going to see talks about being in your frame. That's a thing that we have not necessarily been taught while we were being raised in our communities, right? A lot of us come from single family parents, no knock on them. But usually, my mom and dad were divorced when I was 2. I really didn't truly understand what it was to be a man until I was in sports and I had, different coaches that kind of helped bridge the gap with that. And so I was always kind of, searching for that. And, it wasn't until I got into my freshman year of college at Oberlin that I met a math teacher. Well, I really kind of understood what it was for a man to be in his frame. And he was an older white guy, right? That I was like, wow, this is what it is to kind of be there. But all along, we're trying to impress with, what we have or what we do. Most times when you introduce someone, they talk about who they are, but they talk about what they do, not necessarily who they are, right? And I was guilty of that today when you said, hey, introduce yourself, let people know who you are. And the first thing I did is I talked about what I used to do. That is conditioning. And so we've been conditioned to look for attention. We've been conditioned to, not argue over what they say, petty stuff. Well, how do you determine what is petty? Who determines that? And then, constantly picking fights. Well, some people constantly pick fights because that's their way of getting attention too. So being a man, we have to not only understand who we are, but we have to be able to read the room. We have to kind of be psychologists and understand where other people are coming from as well. Not everybody's going to be able to meet you at your level of maturity and psychological understanding. But the curse, if you will, or the blessing of being a man is that you can control all of that. That if this person is not growing to where you need them to be, you can decide to leave at any point in time, whether you're in a serious relationship, whether you're married, or whether you're just, partying. You can always leave. A lot of times people say, well, the woman carries a child for 8 months. So the women are the mothers of, civilization. And I always say, well, there's always need to be a seed to be planted for anything to grow.
True.
So, you can have 100 skeletons, or 100 women go to an island and live, and then scientists go 100 years later and they find 100 skeletons.
Right.
But if you have 100 women on an island and you have one man, 100 years later, you can have an entire society that's thriving. So
True.
you for everything that's growth, for anything that grows, there has to be a seed. So the man is the prize.
I'm glad that it kind of reminds me of here in Colombia. For you guys that never been to Colombia, here in Colombia, back in 2000, back in the 1994, 1998, Pablo Escobar, brought animals over to Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those animals, as Todd knows, are hippopotamus.
Mm-hmm.
He only brought 4.
Mm-hmm.
All the other animals they were able to put into zoos or transfer back to Africa, except for those 4 hippopotamuses.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of those hippos was a male.
Mm-hmm.
There are 200 hippopotamuses running rampant through Colombia, throughout the country.
Mm-hmm.
4. All it took was one male
It was
to
one.
plant the seed. And now, almost 30, 40 years later, those 4 have turned into 200.
Yep.
And now it's a problem in Colombia with all these hippos. We're talking about 4,000-pound vehicles running around.
Yeah.
With
bad attitudes.
With me, before we go back to the video, with me, I say the reason why men don't leave, and I'm not saying because of the kids, guys. We're not talking about the kids. We understand you guys got responsibilities and things like that. We just talk about in general. Because, and I'll say why I say I'm not talking about the kids. Because a woman will leave you in spite of the kids. Don't see, men think I'm not gonna leave because she got my kids and I'm gonna stay here with my kids. And I got you. I understand. Women don't think like that. Women will leave you and either take the kids or leave you and leave the kids. They do not think about them kids. That's why another reason why 80% of the breakups that we have in the United States happen because of the women. Women will leave you with the kids in spite of the psychological issues that kid is going to have, or women will leave you with the kids. It's often said that men give up their happiness. That's what it is. Men give up their happiness for their families. Women give up their families for their happiness.
Yeah.
I think a lot of reasons why men don't leave. Go ahead, Todd. Go ahead.
No, we have this Camelot mentality, right?
Yeah.
Especially if we've grown up in the air quote church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we've been told, all this different stuff and about marriage and being the man, the head of the house, and all this other kind of stuff. We become altruistic and sacrifice ourselves, but that's not. That's a false belief that we have. I think we have to understand. Aside from marriage, I'll say, if we're dating or if we're contemplating marriage, when we say yes, we typically want to be men of our word. And
Right.
as you said, we try to prove that, hey, this is what I said. All I have is my word.
My word.
And the only thing that I will be remembered for is what I said and I acted upon what I said. That's the only thing I'll be remembered for. That's the only thing that will last, right? I mean, but I talked about religion, and I just had a thought that came into my mind. you know, regardless of what people, if they're Christian or what have you, if they, you know, if they believe or not believe, the idea is this, that they say in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. The same was in the beginning. And the Word became flesh, okay, and became and dwelt among us. That's who we call Jesus, was supposed to be the Word of God.
Right.
So the only thing that we know about the Most High is what he said.
Correct.
So as men, since we were the first and women was taken out of the rib of man, we have a responsibility. And I think that that's ingrained in us from the very beginning, because we have to say, if we say it, we have to do it, because our word is the only thing that lasts. And I think that that's the part that has been subliminally ingrained in us. But we have to give ourselves grace, because when we're trying to mature into that, we make poor choices and decisions.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, I was 0 for 2. And both times, even though the marriages were over soon, I stayed, and they were the ones that make the choice of decision, because I didn't want to have, I wanted my conscience to be clear. I never wanted it to be said from, you know, from my kids or whomever, well, he left. It was him that did it. No, they left. I gave what I was supposed to give, whether, you know, the house, the car, whatever, because as a man, it says I can start over.
Right.
I started from nothing. I can go back to nothing, and I can make it happen, because that's the position as a man. It's simple. It's just not easy. But again, that's just how I was raised. That's my indoctrination. Not saying it's right. That's just how I was indoctrinated.
We all were. We all were indoctrinated to believe that. I like how I'm going to break down the three things that you, at least three things that you said. First thing that you mentioned was the fact that one of the reasons that men tend to stay, because we want to be men of our words. We want society to know, I said that I'm going to marry this woman. I told her parents and her friends, all those that I'm going to marry her. So we want to be known as men of our words. Number two is that you mentioned was that we have a tendency of, how can I word it? We've been in because of our religious beliefs. Our religious beliefs have caused us to stay around as men, because we were supposed to be the Adams of the relationship. You know, she can be the Eve, but we're the Adams. We were the first ones. We're supposed to be here thick and thin. And so carrying that around is problematic, because like you said, we don't, as men, society and ourselves, we don't give ourselves grace as men. And I didn't let that word go by when you said it. We don't. We are so hard on ourselves as men if a marriage doesn't work. We're so hard on ourselves as men if the marriage doesn't work while we're still in the marriage. We know it's over 3 years ago, but we don't give ourselves the grace of saying, hey, this is over. Let me go ahead and end it with this woman. Me, I was one of the 61% of men that wanted to divorce and say, yes, we need to get a divorce. And I'll tell you what I mean by 66%. Of regular marriages like yours, only 20 to 30% of men say, I want a divorce. Among stepdads, 61% of the divorces that are filed or pronounced are pronounced or filed by the stepdads. It's the only time men file twice as likely as traditional guys. So because I was in a stepdad situation, which I didn't know those stats at that time period, because I was in a stepdad situation, I was like, enough of this. And like I said, I had good kids. So I can imagine guys that had terrible stepkids, but I had really good kids who went to college and still, you know, like I said, my stepdaughter, her first boyfriend ended up being her husband. They still married with 2 kids to this day, a couple of businesses. So I don't have any bad stories, but I still knew this is over. And so I put on my black cowboy hat And I was the one that said, yeah, let's go ahead and divorce. And I'll tell you for 2 reasons that I think men stay around when we should be the ones to stop texting a woman, or if she doesn't want to be with us, let her go if you're not married. And if you are married and you guys have gone to counseling and you could tell that she's on the brink of wanting to divorce you, because a lot of times you could tell your woman want to divorce you. You could tell you guys been arguing. She be coming up with reasons to argue, to fuss, to cuss. You like, yeah, she's on the brink. But once again, men will hang around. But the reason why I think what I noticed that men should learn to take consideration. And once again, guys, this topic is to prepare us men for when we're living outside of the United States. This topic, because you know this is an international channel, is to prepare us men for when we're visiting outside the States or living outside the States. And before you leave, you've got mental clarity. When it comes to separating from a woman, one of the things that I say why men should do it first is because, or why men don't do it first is another thing, is because men don't think about who's at stake and what's at stake. The time the relationship was over 3 years ago. That's 3 years you can't get back. You don't realize time is at stake. You playing around, keeping her around instead of her letting her go find love somewhere else, and you find love somewhere else, and you stay around another 3 years, and she files a divorce on you. That 3 years you can't get back. Time is at stake. That's one of the major reasons why I said, let me go ahead and do this now. I told myself, I said, let me go ahead, do this now while her and I are cordial. We know the relationship is over and we're cordial. I would rather end it while we're cordial than end it while we're beefing. She's mad at me, I'm mad at her, she cussing at me, I'm cussing. And a lot of times men will hang around until the woman pulls out boxing gloves, and now all of a sudden she's bitter in the divorce, she's angry, I want this, I want that, I think he cheated, so forth and so forth. Instead of 3 years ago, when you guys knew it was coming to an end, you did all the counseling, you did all the praying, you did all the fasting, and you could have told her, babe, we need to talk. I think we might need to separate. I think we might need a divorce.
Yeah, I think that's a great point.
You see what I'm saying? I made sure I did it when we were still cool, still cordial. Did it hurt? Yes. So I had a choice, Todd. Did I want to hurt while we were cordial? Or did I want to hurt 3 years later while she's got on boxing gloves now and we're going to divorce anyway? But now she wants this, that, and this, that, and this because of, I let it get to the point where we were bitter. And a lot of time, guys don't realize what's at stake is the time. The second thing that I think men don't realize that's what's at stake when you keep hanging around is your sanity, your peace, your plans, your blueprint. There is so much of life that you could have accomplished in those 3 years if you would have just let her go. It was going to happen right here anyway. You knew it was supposed to happen here with you, but you waited 3 years, and then what happened? She closed the doors on you. And that's 80% of the time. We hang around too long because you don't know who's at stake, meaning you and your destiny, and you don't understand what's at stake, meaning your time that you'll never get back.
Yeah. And I think to add to that is a sense of codependency, right?
Yeah.
Because especially in the States, the man always has the most to lose when it comes to assets. And so not having been preparing to move on, okay, do you have resources that, let's say that it's split up today, where are you going to go tomorrow? Are you going to have to call a friend to be on somebody's couch, or do you have resources that you can go put yourself up in a hotel till you get an apartment? We don't think in those terms, in terms of having resources together. I believe that if men had resources available to them, they would make the choice to leave a lot sooner.
I think so too.
Yeah, but when I say codependency, it's the financial piece, right? Men, we're very analytical when it comes to that. Whether we have $100,000 or we make $1, we're very analytical when it comes to the finances and how we gonna eat.
But the crazy part is, Todd, we're analytical, but women are more strategic, and I'll tell you what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
Women circle their wagon before they ever tell you, I'm leaving you. I'm taking the kids. You know who knows that you about to get divorced? She's talked to her pastor, who's got her psychologically ready for that. She's told her mother and her 2 sisters that she's divorcing you in May. So she's ready that just in case she needs some new babysitters for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
She's told her co-workers and her boss. So now she's going to get a raise if she wants to, or if you need anything, if you need some extra days off.
Mm-hmm.
She circled the wagons. Men don't do that. As analytical as we think and as logical as we think, we just don't. When it comes to separation, that's why women are able to shed their tears, cry, because they got a pastor to cry, to pray for them. They've got their mother to cry in mom's chest. They've got their dad's shoulder to cry on. You just got blindsided.
Mm-hmm.
All you know is that, yeah, I know we was going through some problems, but divorce?
Right.
And we try to pretend like we're surprised that the woman is either, and we're not just talking about marriages, guys, tonight. Don't think we're just talking about marriages.
Mm-hmm.
We're just talking about any relationship or any, even short term, when you just got the female's number a week ago and you just keep blowing up her phone and she's not responding, and
Right.
you don't know how to let her fine self go because she's so fine. So we're talking about any scenario where men need to start taking the control of deleting that number. If this woman doesn't, it shouldn't take me 2 weeks of having a female's phone number in my phone, and she's only texted me back twice for me to realize, yeah, this ain't the one. This ain't the one. She should be deleted immediately. But what do we do as men? Oh, she's so fine though, Todd. She looks so good. She's so sexy, man. Oh.
But it comes down to who we believe we are as well. I mean, she might be fine and sexy, but she has a shelf life.
Yep.
I mean, I'm 63.
Looking good.
Abraham was what, 100 years old? Well, Sarah was 99. So I mean, we age like wine, right? We keep ourselves up. I see you in your beard. I see you, you working out. I see you keeping yourself together, smelling good. So I don't think, and trust me, I do believe your wife notices this and knows this about you, right? My wife knows this about me, even though that I'm, struggling in getting healthy. Before I got, I had shingles, and this is after effect of shingles in April 4th. I was walking up Monserrate 3 times a week. And for those who don't know, Monserrate is the largest point in Bogota, and there are actually 1,500 steps that you walk up and down, right? I was doing that 3 times a week so I can overlook, Bogota.
Bruh, I know exactly what we got it here in Cali. Bruh. I've done them, believe you me.
Yeah. And so
it's stairway to heaven, believe you me.
Stairway to heaven. And they got a church up there too, right?
Oh my goodness.
The thing is
at the top.
Say again?
Ours has a gym at the top. You like, wait a minute, after all this walking, you think I want to exercise? They have a whole outdoor gym up top.
Wow. Like Muscle Beach.
Yeah, that type of thing.
So did you work out up there?
No. I did my first time. I did work up. Since then, man, that walk up those stairs is crazy. But I like what Ronan just said. I want to hear what you have to say about this. He said, Dre, Todd, he said, we think about the loss of time, effort, and resources. So, and this is a good point. So we try to hold on and turn it around, turn the ship around. I do agree with that.
I agree with that.
Men don't lean as much as I got options. I got women in my phone. Whereas women, when they're ready for a divorce, they probably got 2 or 3 dudes from the past that's hitting them up, as well as that one coworker that's been trying to
Work
get
husband, right?
right, the work husband that's been trying to get to him anyway. So Ronan is absolutely correct. International Quiet Storm says this. Shout out to Quiet Storm. He says, Dre, but what if false accusations occur out of spite? That is true. But women usually do that when they know it's over and they giving you a hint that it's over. A lot of times women will start arguments as a hint to see if you go man up and leave her. And then after a while, she realized, well, he ain't leaving. I might as well go and leave him because I got 5 ex-boyfriends in my phone and I got a work husband. I'm going to go ahead and leave him. And I've already talked to my pastor. I told my mama I'm tired of him. I told my sisters I'm tired of him. So, yeah, and they will use false accusations quite often as a tool. He did, like, I give a perfect example. The situation we're looking at with Tigger this week. You know, he got arrested. He's never been arrested. The DJ Tigger from Rap City, never been arrested. It was on video that he was not doing anything wrong to his wife, but she lied. She was screaming, and he ended up getting arrested, even though on video it showed that he did nothing crazy to her. And so, International Quiet Storm is right, but these are some of the things that some of these reckless, ruthless women will do to separate from you. And you don't even have to be married. It's just certain women, man, they like a crescendo type of separation. They don't want a linear separation. They want a crescendo. Dun, 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 dun. They want it to be dramatic when a situation comes to an end. And so we as men, we get upset with ourselves because we're sitting in jail cells now on false accusations. You like, man, I knew I should have left her alone.
And I think that's the point. We know the character of the person that we're dealing with, but we hope that it changes. True. We have to do a better job. We have to do a better job of screening these people that we allow in our space. I'm talking about the World Cup now because everybody's, watching Messi, and whether they like him or dislike him, whatever. But he has a bodyguard. Everybody can't come into Messi's space. I don't care how fine the person is. Everybody can't come into Messi's space. We have to guard our space. But we let, she got a big button to smile. She fine. I might be able to, throw some lines on her and be able to hit. Okay, now you're connected. The moment you do that, now you're connected. So now you've lowered your standard, right? You now are the king, but now you're the person in the street. You're no longer the king. You've lowered your station to be a commoner.
Yeah.
And if people say that, hey, you know what, you're arrogant. I don't like him because he's arrogant. That's fine. Everybody can't be around Todd. Everybody can't be around Andre. And those who can, they've been vetted, they've been validated, but they're still being watched. Because I don't care what a person does or what a person says, I always watch what they do. Because what they do will tell you 1,000% of the time, regardless of what they say.
True. Let's head back to the video and let that roll for a little while. Shout out to all you guys that are here. We appreciate you.
I knew it. I knew I should have left her alone, man. I hate the heart that I have. I do it to myself every time.
And now I feel stupid, I should've knew better than this. Wasn't the right way to do it, I should've been choosing the money instead of a bitch.
Bro, listen, bro, listen.
Yeah. This, what you guys about to hear, this guy right here that's driving, he's the side dude. He's the Jody, the sport coat, the work husband. The person that's calling him that he's recording is the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend. And he letting out his pain to the new dude that's with her.
Bro, this thing she can do whatever she wants, bro, but respectfully, like, I'm trying to get her back, bro, and you can't be texting her, bro. can't text her, bro. Like, I'm trying to get things right. Like, let a nigga, from man to man, like, let a nigga get right, bro. Bro, you gonna start texting her, bro?
You can hear the pain in his voice of trying to get that woman back who doesn't want to be with him. And he's calling this other man saying, stop texting her.
Can you stop texting her, bro?
He's asking them, can you stop texting her? Please. Let's bring it back. I'm going to shut up.
You can't text her, bro. Like, I'm trying to get things right. Like, let a nigga, from man to man, like, let a nigga get right, bro. Bro, you gonna start texting her, bro? Can you stop texting her, bro?
No.
Stop texting her, bro. When she opens her phone and she sees your text message, she rolls her eyes. In fact, when she's with her mate, she shows her mate the message, points at it, and they both laugh together. This isn't a joke. I'm telling you the truth. Leave the woman alone.
Don't you bitch up. Start texting that motherfucking woman because you miss her. Don't nobody give a fuck that it's Thanksgiving. Don't nobody give a fuck that it's Christmas. Don't nobody give a fuck that it's Black Friday and the holidays, and she don't give a fuck about you.
Hey, he is not lying. Men will text as a gateway using the holidays.
Don't you text her. Don't you reach out to her. And stop all that pussy ass shit right fucking now, fellas. Do not reach out to that woman. Stand firm, stand strong, move on with your fucking life because she's not thinking about you or spending the holidays with you. Don't use this as a moment to where you think you're going to be able to slip back in, get in this fucking woman's good graces, and y'all going to start all over again because you're delusional as a motherfucker if you think that's going to happen. Fuck that shit. Move on with your life, stay strong. Don't you fucking reach out to that woman. Happy holidays.
One of the saddest videos I saw on the internet is this. Sad, bro. Just watch it. It's really sad.
This is one of the saddest ones. I'm going to lay a foundation for you, Todd. I was trying to find the part of this video, and I had never seen the part 2. This is the part 2, but I couldn't find the part 1 again.
Okay.
As I've never seen this before. Guy calls a number that's in his girl's phone. He calls the dude. He says, "Is this so-and-so?" He said, "Yeah, who is this?" He say, "So-and-so, I need you to stop calling my girl." He's like, "Bruh, first of all, who is your girl? I got plenty of girls. Who is your girl?" "So-and-so, do you know Star?" He's like, "Yeah, I know Star, man." He said, "What's up?" He said, "Man, I need you to stop calling her, blah, blah." You know, I'm he's tough guy this guy who you're going to see. He's tough guy in the beginning of the conversation. What you guys are going to see now, Mr. Tough Guy, in part 2 of the conversation. No more Mr. Tough Guy. He's on the phone with his woman's lover. And look at how he acts now.
Makes me sad.
I'm asking you a question as man to man, bro. Leave her alone, please, bro. Bro, please leave her alone, please. Bro, please leave her alone. Bro, please. Bro, what about me and family, bro? Just leave Star alone, bro.
I don't have no words for this. This kind of behavior.
You bring that back.
Family, bro. Just leave Star alone. Bro, please. Bro, what about me and family, bro? Just leave Star alone, bro.
I don't have no words for this. This kind of behavior all comes down to 2 things, bro. Number 1, he's in love. And when you're in love with a woman, you do things that after the relationship is over, you realize how much of a punk you really look. I'm telling you, as a man to man, if you have to tell a woman to stop speaking to a man or tell a man to stop speaking to your woman, you've already lost already, bro. The relationship's already done. She's out there on the streets. She could never respect you as a man that you're doing this. And we can't respect you as a man. So the best thing you can do, bro, is take the little bit of dignity that you got left and leave. Leave, bro. Find a woman that loves you, cherishes you, and will never do this to you. Because this is the ultimate embarrassment. It has to be a prank because this can't be real, bro.
You left your husband because he went through a little financial struggle.
And did.
At any point in time, did you feel that love should have kept you there?
I feel like he didn't love me because if he did, he wouldn't have went through a financial struggle. A man that loves a woman don't go through hard times.
A man who loves a woman doesn't go through hard times. The reason why I show those two clips side to side, Todd, is I wanted men to see that even if you're married or not married, there's a time to leave, even though she's already left. In the first video where the guy was begging, with the first two videos where the guys were begging on the phone, the women already had new lovers. They'd left. They were mentally checked out, even though y'all still living in the same house. Y'all getting up in the morning, take care of the same kids and everything. The women have mentally checked out. We've got to learn to ride through that pain and accept it. I'm going to say this again. We as men have to be able to ride through that pain and accept it. Many of us have been cheated on. Many of us have been not even cheated on, but left astray in a relationship to where you thought that you guys were still together, but you're by yourself in the same house. The second video, the woman said, I left him because he had financial problems. That's the same woman that said, I called my ex-husband a simp because he knew I had 4 kids when he married me. Just in case you didn't know who that woman was, she's in another video. She said, my ex-husband was a simp because he married me with 4 kids, and I knew he was a simp. And that's why I married him. So in both cases, guys, you have to realize, women, I'm not coming at the ladies. This is about us tonight, guys. Preparing ourselves for our lives outside the United States. Do realize women have no problem with checking out mentally, even though you might not have checked out yet. Women know how to check out 3 years before they really walk away, 5 years before they really walk away. And they will say what you said, Todd. I want to hear what you have to say about it. They will say what you said. Well, I wanted to make sure I left with a good conscience. So a woman will hang out with you guys for 3 more years, 5 more years. So when she does say, I want a divorce, she could tell the world, well, I gave it 5 more years. What else did y'all expect?
Right.
Let me hear what you have to say about what we just saw.
Well, I think that in a relationship, a woman is probably the biggest psychologist of the relationship, because they will always evaluate you, having no experience in psychology whatsoever. It's all based on what they think or they feel or they emote, but they can tell you about you.
Right.
But you know, and I just want to go back to something that we had talked about, the values that a man has to have of himself. For this man to beg and plead that this other person stop smashing his girl or whomever it is,
right?
That ain't gonna happen. Hey, you know, I'm gonna stop smashing this because your boyfriend or you know this man asked me to stop. We have to vet these people and say, okay, here are the standards. A woman to say, okay, I want a man 6'5", $200,000, $500,000 a year, da. But we don't. And here's just something, you know, just simple. 1, a woman that fears God. 2, will treat you as an asset, not a liability.
Right.
3, she works hard, she rises early, she plans ahead. 4, she sources things, right? That she able to work and provide assets for the household as well. She manages the household, cook, clean, help with the kids or whatever. She prepares for hard seasons, right? That realizing that, hey, you know what? It's not always going to be summer, that we have to prepare for winter as well, but she's willing to do that. She has a good reputation that's built on evidence, not just, talk a good game, that she's honored in the public and that she honors you as a boyfriend or honors you as a husband, as a man of the relationship, right? His charm is hollow, beauty fades, character and the fear of God endure. We don't look for that. We want, man, she got nice ass I can smash. Come on, man. Once that's done, what's the character? What's left? Once you take the body, what's left?
Absolutely correct. That's Proverbs 31. Me and Andre was studying that this week. So that's
I knew you'd recognize that.
all that sound familiar. I said, yeah, me and Andre is studying Proverbs 31 right now.
But let me ask you this though, Andre. I mean, honestly, how many Proverbs 31 women do you run into?
Well, the Proverbs 31 gives you the answer in verse 10. How hard it is to find a good woman. She is rare. She is not that common. I know women run around and say, I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. Or they'll say, everybody deserves love. Or here's the number one that women like to use. There's somebody for everybody. That statistically isn't true because there's not as many men on the planet or even in the States as women. Kevin Samuels used to always quote and say that if every heterosexual man married every heterosexual woman, there'll still be 2 million women unmarried. There's literally statistically not enough men, even in the States, for there to be somebody for everybody. So when you hear that term, just by population, it's not true. But you'll hear these terms that women try to make it seem like all of us deserve love, all of us are virtuous, and the Bible says Proverbs 31:10, she is rare. She's not easy to find. She is hard to find. It says that she is like jewelry. She is like a treasure.
Right.
He that findeth a wife, also in another verse, it says, he that findeth a wife or a girlfriend or a spouse or somebody special in your life has found a good thing and has found favor with the Lord. In other words, bruh, for you to find I'm just paraphrasing, that scripture in Proverbs says, for you to find a wife, God did you a favor.
Yeah.
God did you a favor. And that's why when you guys like you and myself and Ronin Travelers and Richie Mack and Aaron Fearless, all these guys of us that are in solidified relationships with women from other countries, we know what it's like to have a real Proverbs 31 woman, not that fake pseudo what they try to pretend in the United States, like everybody is no, she's supposed to be hard to find. She's not supposed to be easy.
And we're hated for it.
And here's the irony of it, Ty, and we are hated for it. Don't forget the thought. Proverbs 31 was written by a woman about women.
I never knew that. That's
Proverbs 31
good.
is written, a queen is writing to her son who's going to be a future king.
Gotcha.
He mentions 2 women. He mentions in Proverbs 31 verses 1-4, he says women. Keep away from these type of women. Proverbs 31:10, she says this woman is hard to find.
Gotcha.
So it's easy to find bad women. It's hard to find a good woman. In Proverbs 31, it starts off, she says, this is to my son. I think his name is Lemuel. This is my son, Lemuel. You're going to be king one day. Here's some of the things you're going to need to learn as a king, taken from your mama, the queen. And she starts breaking it down. So when a lot of people don't realize, Proverbs 31 is a woman telling men about what women to look out for and what women to look for.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't know how to let go of the women of verse 2-4, the women, in order to get to the woman of verse 10, which is the virtuous woman.
I mean, that's why a lot of people went to the temple prostitutes.
Yep. Come on now.
Right?
In the book of Corinthians, think about it, they were going to temple prostitutes. All the way, Paul telling them in the book of Corinthians, like, wait a minute, y'all supposed to be Christians. Y'all ain't supposed to be sleeping in the temples with the prostitutes no more. That's over. Oh, we not? No, you Christians now. Oh, we ain't no. So Even in the book of Corinthians, he had to warn them about going to the temple prostitutes. Absolutely correct. T-Mac says this. He said, I was happy to let my first ex-wife go. Some of us are at peace with that. You're absolutely correct. He said that she called, then she called to borrow my old carpet cleaner because she was moving in with her man. Hey, do your thing. He said, I let her borrow my brand new one, the carpet cleaner, instead. He said her man relieved me of 200 pounds, meaning her 200 pounds of headache. So I feel you, brother. I feel you. Some of us,
that goes to his character too. That goes to his character. I mean, that's how you do it, man. I mean, what is it said that you really, a person that's an enemy, you basically kill them with kindness. You burn their eyes out with hot coals of kindness, right? So yeah, that's a shout out to T-Mac for that. I mean, that's a good one.
Let's say go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, as I told you, I was 0 for 2, and so the second one, I said all I want is the china that we were given as wedding gifts. You can have the house, you can have the dogs. I will move out. Her car was broken on the day that I was moving out, so I had her car fixed, and I put I filled the refrigerator and I filled the basement freezer with food because I did not want it to be said that I left them destitute and, on the lam or whatever. So I did all that. I got the moving truck, had a friend of mine, moved all my stuff out, and I was gone, and I never looked back, never to call again or anything like that. Yeah. Because, when a person makes a choice or decision, you have to love you more than you value that other person. Because the person you have to live with is you. You have to understand who you are. I am and go on to be the best man that you could possibly be. And in order to do that, you have to understand who you are. When the Most High, well, it was in scriptures, again, regardless of what people believe, this is what I believe based on what I've read. When Eve, which really means woman, ate the apple.
That's right.
Ate the fruit. The sin didn't take place until the man accepted it and ate it.
Mm-hmm.
If he had said, no, I don't want that because the Most High said, don't even touch the tree, everything would have been fine because everything is predicated on the man's response. We have to understand who we are and the power that we have within our household and within ourselves. Not all relationships are going to go well. If they don't, wipe the dust off your feet.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
Keep going.
Keep it moving.
Keep going.
Because if you return back like a dog returning back to his vomit and you're begging, you lose the respect of the community. You lose respect of not only the other women, but lose respect of other men. So it's simple. It's just that easy. But we have to have self-respect before we can have any respect for anybody else.
That's absolutely correct. We're going to head back to the video, but before that, David says this. He said, "You brothers are better than me. I would have left without caring or feeling." I didn't. You feel sad in a sense of like something didn't work out. I mean, you're human,
right?
You feel sad, but you still got your stuff packed and you gone. Anytime I've ended a relationship, that doesn't mean that I didn't feel, love and care for that person. I didn't feel like, man, I didn't want this to end or whatever I felt at that moment. But the feeling of wanting to go back, that never happened to me. I'm not wired like to go back. I might, I'll be in my car, shed my tears like it ain't work out, but I'm not turning this car around.
Right.
See, that's the difference between me and another dude. Another dude gonna turn that car around. Me, that's all right. I'd rather be sad for a couple of days. I'll be all right.
Andre, it even got to the point that when we were finishing our divorce, because it had dragged on. I said, listen, we don't need to have lawyers. We can just write up a contract and go. But no, they wanted to, do the other thing. I was like, okay, fine. My attorney died. And I'm like, we can't have this thing continue to drag on. So we'll just write it up, go to the court. So we went to the court. And even then, we had to spend like half the day together waiting for the judge to make the decision because we can go back in the afternoon. Even at that point, she tried to entice me and was angry and upset because I wasn't even looking at her that way. I'm like, look, this is not about you. It's about who I am. And the only reason why I did those things for you when we had decided on divorce is because of who I am. It had nothing to do with me caring about you at all. It had to do everything with me being in my frame of understanding who I am. That as a person with this value system, if I don't like seeing an injured dog laying in the street, I'm not going to leave you destitute when I have the means to take care of it at this particular point. But beyond this, the bank is closed. So it's more to do with
being for herself, you know.
Yeah, it's more to do with who we believe are, who we know ourselves to be. In bad times, past mistakes don't dictate who we are.
True. And I think more men need to understand that. And that's important what Todd just said, guys. Don't let that slide by. Don't let a relationship that didn't work out or some chick that you want to get to know. Let's say you're in Brazil. You got the chick number and her IG. And somehow, some way, after a couple of days, she doesn't reach out to you. Don't say to yourself, well, all Brazilian women must be like that. Don't do that. Don't also internalize just because one chick didn't call you back or didn't text you back. That means all Brazilian women don't like you. Don't do that. I mean that, guys. Do not, because of one woman, try to put an umbrella over all the other women in a country or in a world. Don't do that, man. Because I'm telling you, you do yourself a disservice in a country when you try to kind of like cover everything up like she didn't text me. Oh man, these funny style. See, these women down here in DR, they funny style. That's why I don't like going to DR. No, it was just that one or maybe two women. That doesn't mean that all women in DR are funny style, man. It just means that those women are flaky and move on to the next.
Yeah, you
and I
dodged
know
the bullet.
Go ahead.
You dodged the bullet.
Yeah, you did. A lot of times we don't realize that.
Yeah. I mean, the red flags appear all the time, and we run past the stop signs, bro. I mean, we say, man, the two times that, as I said, I was 0 for 2, I knew it. At some point before the matrimony, I knew it, but I ran through the stop sign because I didn't want to believe it.
Yep. Let's go back to the video. Here we go. Next part.
5 signs you need to leave her. Not argue more, not try harder, leave. Because some relationships don't get better with effort. They get worse with time. Sign number 1. Every disagreement somehow becomes your fault. You bring up something that hurt you, but the conversation ends with you apologizing. She's shifting the blame onto you. Sign number 2 is you feel like you are walking on eggshells in your own home. Every day you monitor her mood. What kind of mood is she going to be in today? You have to time your conversations, and you're constantly adjusting yourself just to avoid another conflict with her. That's survival mode. Sign number 3 is your confidence has slowly disappeared. Ask yourself this: do I feel stronger since being with her or smaller? Healthy.
Don't let that slide by, guys.
Relationships expand you, cause you to grow, but toxic relationships erode you. Sign number 4 is she rewrites reality. You clearly remember what happened, but she says, "Oh, that never happened." You are twisting things. You are too sensitive. That, my brother, is gaslighting. And over time, it makes you doubt your own mind. Sign number 5 is you stay because you keep hoping she'll change. So you tell yourself, if I just
You said that, Todd.
communicate better, if I stay calm, if I try harder, if I love her more, if I pray that she'll change. But look, narcissistic women do not change. So listen carefully. If you recognize yourself in this, you are not crazy. You are likely in a toxic relationship. And sometimes the strongest thing a man can do is walk away. Now, it's going to take some time and preparation and strategy, but you can do it. Look, if you want to understand these patterns deeper, check out my book, The Narcissistic Wife. It breaks down exactly how these dynamics work and how men can break free. You can find it on Amazon.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psych-Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology.
Now, before we go into to Dr. Taraban, who's excellent on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. His topic is about the beginning of the end. The beginning of the end. And what he means by the beginning of the end is he means that there'll come a time in a bad relationship where you'll notice it's over. It's starting to change. And a lot of it, Todd, he showed, as you well know from seeing the video, is because of certain things that we allow as men. I'm going to paraphrase it. I'm going to give you guys a foundation, a quick foundation of what the doctor is about to say. He says that when men stop in any relationship, girlfriend, if you the work husband, if you got a chick that you just met, if you just dating somebody, international love, whatever. He says in any scenario that a relationship is involved, once a man gives up these things that which we talk about all the time, it's over. Once you give up your standards, once you give up your boundaries, once you give up what you know is morally correct, and I'll add another, once you give up whatever rules that you've laid down in that relationship, hey, if a woman doesn't text me back after 3 times I've texted her, she's deleted. That's a rule of yours, a standard, a boundary. And if you don't stand on it, the doctor is saying that's the beginning of the end for any of us. For any of us. So that's what you guys are going to hear the doctor say, or kind of paraphrase over the next few moments as Todd and I talk about it or respond to it. But if you give up those 3 or 4 things, guys, at any point in time in a relationship, I've been with my wife 8 years, guys, married 7. And you guys see how Andre and I are on camera, and for the most part, that's how we are off camera. We don't change. And I kid you not, my morals, my standards, my boundaries, my rules have not changed. And that's one of the things that my wife loves, the consistency of my morals, the consistency of my standards, my boundaries, and my rules for me and for her. And the moment I let go of those things, the doctor is correct. My relationship with my wife, I might as well say it would be over if I start giving in and getting rid of those things. So we're going to listen in to what the doctor has to say, and then we're going to listen to what Todd has to say in response as we watch this video, gentlemen.
And the topic of today's short talk is the beginning of the end. So I'm going to be talking today specifically to the men in the audience. Gentlemen, I'm going to help you prevent your relationships from going off the rails. Let's get to it. Now, everybody is different, and every relationship is going to be unique to the individuals involved. But if you've been following my work, you know that in general, I believe that relationships are more successful and sustainable when the man is the captain and the adored, and when the woman is the passenger and the adorer. If you're unfamiliar with these terms, then you should read my book, The Value of Others, where I go into these concepts in extensive detail. And I believe this because when the man is in this position, he maintains frame. Frame, in this context, is authority vested with power to dictate the terms and structure of the relationship, how it is arranged, how it unfolds, what it entails, who does what are the privileges and responsibilities of each, etc. When men control the frame, relationships have a much better chance of being mutually satisfying and enduring. And regardless of the mixed messages that they give men these days, the vast majority of women still want a guy that they can look up to be the confident leader that initiates and directs the relationship. However, in about 99% of the relationships that I've personally examined, the woman is more powerful than the man.
That is profound. That is profound to know that. Now, remember, his foundation that he's going to be talking about is men let go of their authority. Men have a tendency of stepping back away from what they would normally do when it comes to your standards, your morals, the rules of the direction of where the family's going, your boundaries. He says that men have a tendency of and he's going to say this, slowly allowing these things to erode in a relationship. We start off in a relationship, boundaries, standards, morals, and slowly but surely, because of the love we have for her and the love she has for us, we think, well, it's not that big of a deal. We start to look at stuff like it's not that big of a. When she fell in love with you with your standards and boundaries up here, when you were at the peak of showing your masculinity, and as time progressed, she went up and you were going down. And that's why Doc is saying 99% of the time, women have the authority to keep the relationship or leave the relationship, because men are even too afraid to even leave the relationship or have authority in the relationship. Let's continue on. Is there anything that you want to say, Todd?
Yeah, I think it goes to the theme that we were talking about when you were talking about the Proverbs 31 woman, and when we're talking about, Adam in the beginning, that he lost his frame, he lowered his standards, and then we got into trouble. But think of it in terms of, if you have a ripe piece of fruit and you have another piece of fruit which is a little bit spoiled, and they're close in proximity, the ripe piece of fruit doesn't make that spoiled fruit better, it becomes worse. And so we have to, really guard who we have around us. We have to vet these people at the beginning, especially if we're going to be, spending time, as you said, we're with a person for 3 years. If that person is sour, bad in a sense, bad piece of fruit, they're going to lower you. Your standards are going to be lowered. And that's just the way it is, no matter where we are, whatever environment that we find ourselves in. If that environment doesn't hold us to a standard that we're accustomed to, we're going to lower our standards and we'll become spoiled fruit.
Yep. That's a great way of putting it. Really good way.
Which means that she controls the frame of the relationship. And I think this has to do with why, despite the fact that I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of relationships, I can count the number of relationships that I would consider happy, like relationships that I personally would want to be in, on one hand. And I don't think it's a coincidence that in every one of those relationships, the man was more powerful than the woman. So if relationships are more satisfying and enduring when the man retains frame for both the man and the woman, why is it the case that women so often control it? Now, there are two main ways that this occurs. In the first case, it happens right from the beginning. The man, who may not be a full-fledged captain, cedes control of the relationship to the woman as an enticement to enter into a relationship with him. In the book, I call this the sexual strategy of the ferryboat captain. This is how less attractive men beat out their intrasexual competition. They offer women privileges that their more attractive counterparts wouldn't. Ultimately, the frustration of not getting more of what they want from more attractive men, in combination with the gratification of getting more of what they want, at least in the short term, from less attractive men, can motivate women to enter into relationships with less attractive men, where they can, more or less, dictate terms from the get-go. Whether they're aware of it or not, these men understand that happy wife, happy life is the cost of doing business. However, this is not the only way that women come to control the frame of a relationship. In some cases, the man enters into the relationship as a full-fledged captain, invested with the legitimate authority such a position enjoys by the woman in question. But over time, slowly and insidiously, the balance of power shifts so completely that the man no longer recognizes his own life and can't quite remember how things turned out this way. In point of fact, most men control the frame at the beginning of the courtship process and lose it through small concessions as the relationship progresses. Consider your first date with your girlfriend or wife. Chances are good that you approached her with a plan. I'd like to take you out. Let's meet at this time, at this place, on this day, and this is what I'd like the two of us to do. And that she agreed to that plan. You created an experience for her to enter into. That's frame. It's very unlikely that you would have been able to secure that opportunity without creating such an experience. And it's even less likely that she went through the trouble of creating an experience for you to enter into. So most relationships begin with the man in charge. And just so we say the quiet part out loud, that's why the woman's there. Women reward men who use frame to create an experience for them to enter into. They do not chase down men who don't or won't do this. This is important to keep in mind throughout the duration of the relationship, as men will be tempted to surrender frame in a variety of ways over time.
Before he goes any further, I want to hear if you have anything you want to say about this. That a lot of guys change, become lax, become comfortable over time. I want to say, I want to hear what you have to say. I already know what I want to say.
No, I agree 100%. We get comfortable. We lose understanding of who we are, and we become more of what we do. We try to identify more of what we do as opposed to who we are, right? As I said, we're the prize. But once we have accomplished what we set out to do, in many instances, we fail to dream even bigger dreams, or to reach higher heights, or even to get better. Now we become complacent in the day-to-day, complacent in the job, complacent in making resources and having things and just living life, right? And life passes us by. We forget about the growth. We forget about the standards of growth. We forget about working out in many instances. A lot of guys quit working out. They get, the dad bod or whatever, you were working out before you got her. You were working out to get her. And now all of a sudden, as you have her, now you don't want to work out. And our partners are guilty of that as well at times. And we begin to accept those different things, right? And they accept those things. So we lower our standards because we don't want to cause problems, right? We want to live a peaceful life. And this whole thing, happy wife, happy life, that makes us sacrificial animals. What about? Go ahead.
I was about to say, I do like what Jay was saying. For a second, I was going to be ambiguous with my response, Jay. Shout out to Jay Fleming in the building. But then I understand where you're coming from as well. Jay said, listen, we are too busy working. Then we become too tired to fight these micro battles that happen throughout relationships. I'll say it like this. I can agree with that, except for we were working when I was working when I met you. I had a job when I met you. I was building a business when I saw you walking down the street with that big butt girl.
Mhm.
So I can't can I really blame it on my job or my work schedule or me being tired? I was working long. Hey, I saw her on the lunch break when I was working in the warehouse 60 hours a week. I still had to have it. So are we too tired? See, are we too tired? See, we'll say we're too tired for the micro battles, which is true. But if she said, baby, I know you sleepy, let me give you some head real quick, you ain't gonna say, no, girl, I'm too tired for you to give me head right now. I want to go to bed. You see what I'm saying? We were already that person when it comes to our jobs. It can be tired, but yet and still, we still took the time out to introduce this person into our lives. Even though we work long hours, even though we come home tired, when we were single, we still thought we could walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, juggle. And then in many cases, we find out, man, this feels more like a battle than a relationship.
But let me ask you this. What happened to us that they would think that they could have a micro battle with us?
Right, true.
We had to lose some level of power or some level of authority for a person to even think that having a micro battle is worth it.
You know what I found? Oh, go ahead, Todd.
No, I mean I'm not gonna walk into a cage with a hungry lion.
Right.
Because I know I can't win that micro battle.
Right.
So it goes to us having our frame, right? We have to always be on. Let's just be honest. We always have to be on. The only time we can be off is when we're asleep.
Right. Right. And so this is how I look at it. And this is what I was going with the doctor's point of view. And I want to hear what you have to say. I from watching men, just from my perspective, women don't fall out of love with men before they fall out of trust with men. Your woman will love you all the way through the divorce court. She no longer trusts you. What do you mean, Dre? When she fell in love with you, you were a man that had standards. You had standards. You wasn't gonna put up with certain behaviors from any woman. You had morals. She knew that you were a man of your word. If you said that this is gonna get taken care of, that got taken care of. You had boundaries. You would not let yourself have any old body in your life, and you wouldn't let her bring any old body into that household. You had rules. You knew which direction you want to take your life, and you weren't going to let anybody veer you away from it. All of a sudden, she's in love with that man right there. That man got standard boundaries. That's a masculine man. I love him. That's my man, right? Right? Then we kind of like slide away from that. And as she's waiting around, I still love him, but I can't trust him as much as I love him. And a lot of times women leave us, let's be honest, not because they don't love us anymore, but a lot of guys don't want to admit they don't trust us anymore. They don't trust us to be a man with rules. They don't trust us to be a man that with standards and boundaries. They don't trust us with a man that sits back and say, I don't let anybody in and out of my life. I'm not gonna let a woman talk to me like this or that. I'm not gonna allow myself to veer away. If I sat back and I said, I am writing a book, I am writing a book. No, baby, I ain't got no time to take you to a movie tonight. I'll take you to a movie tomorrow night, but tonight I'm getting this chapter done. She thinks that's sexy. Why? Because you're a man of standards, a man of rules. Her feelings aren't hurt. You said that you're going to take her out tomorrow, but a lot of times, what'll dudes do, Todd? They'll stop writing. They'll get up and take her out to dinner. Now she can't trust you. Oh, she loves you, but she can't trust you.
She just set you up.
And she set you up to let you see, are you still the man that she fell in love with? And in many cases, and I'm not saying the setup was fair. I'm not saying the setup was fair. But in many cases, a woman will set up. This is not a panel, gentlemen. It's not a panel. In many cases, women will set us up or test us to see if we're still the man that they fell in love with prior to. Because the things that we offered them in the beginning was free. I'm gonna say this again, gentlemen. Your morals are free. The rules of the direction that you want to take your life with her or without her, free. Your standards, free. Your boundaries are free. So you can't put it on your economics like I had to buy these things. These are the things that she felt. And that's what the doctor is saying. We walk in our masculine frame. We have to always give ourselves a report card of, am I still walking in that masculine frame that she fell in love with? And if you think I'm lying, do not these Colombian dudes, no matter how much money they got, are consistent in their masculine frame. And that's why you wonder why the brokest Colombian dude can be with the hottest chick and she damn near licking his arm every time she see him. Because one thing about Latin men and certain Asian men and some of the men on the continent of Africa, these dudes walk in their masculinity, whether it's right or wrong, but they walk in it with consistency. The women can trust their consistency to where when it comes to us men, it's back in the States, it seems that we kind of wane over time from walking in that initial masculinity. That's what the doctor is saying. He's saying we have to every once in a while give ourselves a report card and say, okay, how am I doing? Am I still walking in my standards? Am I still walking in my boundaries? Am I still? To this day, Todd, I am the exact same Andre that Andrea fell in love with to this day. On good days, I'm still that same morals, standards, boundaries, rules. On a bad day, still same morals, because women want to see if they can trust, not love, because they do love us, trust our consistency when it comes to our masculinity. And a lot of men show it in the beginning like a rose, and then all of a sudden that rose slowly dies. Let me hear what you have to say.
No, I agree 100% because, and that's the hard truth. That is, men, we don't want to, well, we can't always accept, but that's just the hard truth of it. No matter how we feel or emote, the fact is that, love is actions and activities, but that trust part is the thing that people fall out of because it only takes one time, good days, bad days, but like you said, they have to trust you and they have to believe that you are going to be that man. They would rather you fall off of your white horse, hit your head on a rock and die than to come down off of that white horse and be a normal person.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's just the truth of it. As I said, April 4th, I contracted shingles. And side note, if you're over 50, I would highly recommend that anybody's listening that if you're over 50, man, woman, dog, whatever, get or talk to your medical provider about the vaccine, about not getting shingles, because it happens in older adults. If you ever had the chicken pox when you were young, you're susceptible to shingles when you're older in life. I contracted shingles at 63. I've been fighting this since April 4th, so it's about 3 months now. The rash is gone. The rash was gone long ago, but I'm still having pain, neurological pain from my chest through my back, even to the point now where it's, for me, wearing a shirt, it hurts.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like I'm on fire, right? I say that to say this. Even in my pain, I cannot fall off my white horse and hit my head and be a normal person. Even through this pain, I have to be in my masculine energy. And so my wife understands that I'm in pain, and she understands that I have a high tolerance in pain, and sometimes it's unbearable.
Mm-hmm.
However, I get up, I go to work. No matter how I'm feeling, I still have to do the things that show that I'm taking care of the family. Through thick or thin, good times, bad times, there has to be that effort. There has to be that stick-to-itiveness, that masculine energy to say, hey, you know, we're going to be okay.
Right.
I had to explain to my wife, again, I told you we had a conversation yesterday. She said that she was afraid that if something were to happen to me, you know, she'd be alone. I explained to her that I have things set up that if something were to happen to me, that she is going to be taken care of the rest of her life.
Right.
Now, she didn't want to hear that, but as a man, that's something that I have to think about every single day.
Absolutely.
Because tomorrow doesn't exist. Yesterday is gone. All I have is today. And if Most High called me home in the next 5 minutes, my family has to be taken care of. And if I forego that in that masculine energy, the trust is gone and they're looking for the next best thing.
That's a great point. That's like how I think as well. It's kind of funny that you would say that.
I know you do. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Andre, this is why I respect you and I follow you and we're connected, because I know the quality and the caliber of man that you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I know that we had a conversation. It's like you called me and said that there was something that was going on or whatever, and I sent you something because you needed it, right? You know that I'm here. I know that you're there, and you're not going to sugarcoat it. If you need to get in my buttocks about something that I need to get right about, you're going to tell it to me plain,
Right.
and vice versa, because iron sharpens iron, and we
Absolutely.
depend upon one another. I need you to be that man. I need you to be that man that your wife can depend on, and you need the same thing from me.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, we cannot allow ourselves to fall off that white horse or to come down from that white horse and to be normal. We have to be in our masculine energy, not as ogres, but understanding that I am the prize and the success or failure of my family depends upon me. Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it fails, honestly, this is what I think. Like I said, I was 0 for 2. It was my fault. Why was it my fault? Because I didn't vet correctly. I lowered my standards from the very beginning. So the failure, it was doomed from the beginning. Are you the firstborn, Andre? Are you the first
Yeah, I
male?
am. I'm
Okay.
firstborn.
We have tremendous responsibility as the first males. And whether people believe it or not, I find it to be true that as the firstborn male of a household, the responsibilities that we have for the family that we're born into and for the family that we obtain later in life is immense. So just like the doctor said, we've got to maintain frame all the time. And we receive special blessings from on high, I believe, in order to do that. If we fail, it's because of a lack of belief in ourselves.
Good point. I see you got the whiteboard back there like I got. I got the same whiteboard, bro.
Yeah, man. I can't always show everything that I write on that whiteboard because it's you can't tell everybody your dreams.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's what my whiteboard has. All my goals, dreams, plans, blueprints, everything.
Yeah.
I actually took my whiteboard and I put black tape to separate it into 4 squares. So So it's 4 sections. Instead of just having one full whiteboard, I just kind of split up in sections. So this section I write about this section I write about that, and this one over here I have notes about whatever it may be.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I see your growth. I mean, even taking your story. I mean, what happened with one of the social media platforms? That didn't stop you.
No.
I mean, you came back stronger and more consistent. I mean, you're on like every day, aren't you?
Yeah, dang near.
Yeah. And I know that, like I said, trying to get an appointment with you got to go through Luca Bracca, to get an appointment with you.
but I kid you not, man. As I was mentioning before, with the a lot of us men don't realize how fast a woman can fall out of trust with us compared to falling out of love with us. I think a lot of men, we as men, I've done it. I think I've done this more than the love part. I think I've been in relationships where women could no longer trust me, who even still loved me. You know, when you sit back, you analyze it as far as trusting me to stay in my 100% masculine frame of responsibility of, if I had morals, why did I change those morals? Because she got a big butt? Or why did I change those standards? Because she gave fire head? Or why did I change my rules? Because she's fun to hang out with? I always somehow compromised in each relationship what she trusted when she first fell for me. Oh, he's like this, he's like that. I know his personality. He's not going to put up with this. He's not going to tolerate that. And all of a sudden, once I really got into a relationship, I started tolerating stuff that when I first met her, I wouldn't tolerate. And that's what made her fall in love with me. The stuff that I wouldn't tolerate, the morals that I did have. Go ahead.
What was it that you didn't tolerate? And I know we talk about love, and love is subjective. You know, what is it? What is love? You know, all that stuff. But let me ask you.
Yeah.
Why did you fall for that person? What was it that they did for you? I mean, I have an idea that for me, but what is it that they did for you that made you or caused you to make that decision to be with them?
Well, initially, other than, you know, physical and intimacy and attractiveness part, initially what made me fall for that person is what made that person different from everybody else. You know, that they had standards, that they had boundaries, that they had morals, that they had rules. The problem came in was she held frame with her standards that attracted me, her boundaries that attracted me, her rules that attracted me, her standards that attracted me. I, over time, went down and sugarcoated to whereas at one point in time, I was the type, I'm not doing no arguing. We about to do this back and forth arguing. I don't do no yelling. That's not me. All of a sudden, 2 years later, I see us going back and forth, raising our voices. But what attracted her to me initially was I'm the type of guy that would nip, we're not doing that. But now 2 years later, I'm allowing something to take place that I wouldn't have allowed when she first fell in love with this guy here.
Gotcha.
And a lot of times we do that. And what made me fall in love with her is because she was a woman. Any of my women were women of standards, of morals, of boundaries. And the sad part was, all the way to the end, they kept frame. And I've always been with feminine women. And so these feminine women always kept frame all the way to the divorce court, all the way to when we were separated, living in separate houses. And if you call them today, they would still have those same morals, same standards, same boundaries, same rules. They didn't change. At least the ones that I was with didn't change. It was me that started to all of a sudden wing down, wing down. Well, it ain't that bad. Oh man, I'm tired. Like Jay said, we be so tired of trying to, just be men surviving out here and keeping families together on the economic scale We just kind of like overlook the little small things. It ain't no big deal. It ain't that serious. But then when you go to other countries like Colombia, these dudes are not. They started off day one like this, and day 4,751, they are still like that. They have not changed. They have not waned. If she met him and he was like, I like to go out and drink on the weekends with my Colombian buddies, 4,000 days later, he is still going out on the weekend. Am I lying? These dudes are these dudes are like aren't we like bulls? Right. The women love it. Right. That's what my point is, because they can trust it.
Yeah.
They know who they fell in love with, and 4,000 days later, he gonna still be that same dude. African brothers are like that. Many of our European brothers are like that. Many Asian brothers are like that. But when it comes to us in the West, I don't know what it is that somehow makes us start to slowly sugarcoat those traits that caused us to fall in love with her. We sugarcoat it, and then all of a sudden we wonder what happened. To whereas men in these other countries are like, listen, you knew who I was. You knew I was ornery, and I go to work, I make my money, I come home, and I don't go out. And don't ask me to go out and dance because I don't like to dance. And 4,000 days later, that woman still ain't never got that man to dance.
Right.
And she loves him for the consistency that she can trust.
I go and use the word respect. The moment they lose respect for us, is gone. It's over. Yep. And that goes with the trust. And because the trust and the respect, I think, go hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good point, Leo. Leo said, and the men give no regards to their beauty. To where we shift for beauty. We will shift for beauty.
In our youth, in our youth.
Yeah. In our adulthood, I've seen a Colombian dude says, I make $500 a month. Any of y'all want to get with me? That's all I got. Take it or leave it. We will come. I got $5,000 a month. Okay, for you, I pay 7. For you, I pay 3. For you, I pay 10. You see what I'm saying? How I did that? The Colombian dude would take his $500 a month and say, either take it or leave it. It ain't gonna be no more. You ain't got to worry about it being less. And you don't have to worry. I will make this $500 for the next 30 years. It will never be any less.
Yeah.
But you will never, don't come in my face, talk about more. This is it.
Let me.
Those women will take it. But then here we come. I got 5,000.
Right.
Okay. And instead of staying with our standard with 5,000, soon as we see her butt, we like, hey, I could stretch it to 7. I could stretch it for 7 for you.
In your complex, how do they cut the grass?
With the weed whackers? I don't really.
And so that's the point I'm trying to make. These cats make $700 max, $500 to $700 because they are right max, and they cut football fields with weed whackers, bro, all day long, from early morning to late afternoon, and have some of the baddest females in their lives, and don't go nowhere.
The women ain't going nowhere. That goes to show you back to they can trust the man's consistency of who he is. He started like this, he's consistent like that, and it's be 4,000 days later, and the woman can still sit back and say, he's who he is. Even if he's a womanizer, listen, I'm gonna be with you, but I might have 3 girlfriends on the side. Take it or leave it. And a lot of times in South America, the woman will say, okay, I'll take it. Exactly. I know who he is. And it'll be 4,000 days later. She knows he's going to pay the bills. He's going to make sure the kids are all right. He's going to do this. He's going to take her out to dinner maybe once or twice a month, salsa dancing. but he got his chicks on the side and he's consistent with it and she's okay with it.
And not even thinking about marrying her.
Right. He don't even think about marrying her. In other words, he's consistent with who he started out as. She was willing to accept that. She trusts it. She even, like you said, even respects it to a certain extent. And 4,000 days later, he hasn't changed a bit. And so now she's still in trust. Notice I didn't say in love.
Right.
She's still in trust. And a lot of times women don't fall in love out of love with us in the States or in the West. They fall out of trust. They couldn't trust us to be the same dude for at least 4,000 days.
You're absolutely right. That's a great point.
We couldn't do it.
Right.
And so we thought we were just kind of like, it ain't that, it is what it is, girl. And the women are like, no, see, he's not consistent. I'm gonna cheat on him or I'm gonna leave him. And you think like, cause I bought her all this stuff and I got a house and I took care of her kids. Why she want to leave me or cheat on me? Because you are not the person who she fell in love with. You were not consistent and you didn't give yourself a report card. And that's what I see as in regards to your masculinity and your morals and your standards. And that's what I see in a lot of countries. These men are extremely consistent with their masculinity. Whatever their definition of masculinity is in that country, these dudes stand on business. Yeah. It does not shift. It does not move. They don't care how fine the female is. They don't care how sexy she is. They don't care if she said, well, I will leave you. These dudes don't care.
Right.
They realize it's more of you in this world, ladies, than us. We are the prize. Even though I only make $700 a month, I'm the prize. And these dudes are consistent with it. We can't even do it for 4,000 days. We can't even do it for 4,000 days. And I sit back and I watch these dudes on the continent of Africa, watching these Asian dudes, watching these dudes in parts of Europe, watching these dudes in South America. And the one thing that I can say I understand, these women can trust that these men, whether they're good or bad, are consistent with it.
Yeah, 100%.
But let's head back to the video. I don't want to keep you guys too long. We're almost done tonight, gentlemen. This has been a really good conversation.
This temptation occurs in two primary ways. Sometimes it's the temptation to escape an uncomfortable emotional situation created by the woman in a bid for more power and control. As I discussed in the Easter egg hunt, these bids typically follow the PSA system of emotional manipulation, or pity, shame, anger, PSA. No matter the particular thumbscrew, the woman applies emotional pressure on the man, who then cedes frame as a way of buying his way out of a difficult dynamic. As I discussed in the book, in its extreme manifestation, this takes the form of an attempted hijacking, in which the woman threatens to leave or divorce if her demands are not met. If you appreciate the insights on this channel, I would highly encourage you to get your hands on a copy of my book, The Value of Others. Over the course of 432 pages, I delve deep into my economic model of relationships and explain the behavior of both men and women in the game of mating and dating. I also provide a lot of actionable advice on how to get and keep more of what you want in the sexual marketplace. Once you read The Value of Others, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. Now available in ebook, audiobook, and paperback formats. The links are in the description. However, the temptation to surrender frame doesn't always come from the outside. Many, if not most men, seduce themselves into doing so. However, this is only possible if the man becomes emotionally invested, which induces a distortion in his thinking, typically by activating his latent romanticism. This romanticism, in turn, either motivates him to sacrifice more and more of his life for his one and only, or tempts him into the ideal of equal partnership. This might sound surprising, but as I've discussed previously, partnership is the most prevalent male romantic ideal in our culture today. This might sound appealing in the abstract, and many might disagree with their words, but most women don't want to be either pedestalized or partnered.
Let me hear what you have to say about that, Todd. I agree.
I agree, but I had to learn that. I learned that with my maturity. You know, as I got older, I kind of learned that when you pedestalize a woman, she views you as being weak and beneath you. That's just been my experience. You know, it's like I said, I wouldn't go into a cage with a lion or a tiger, but when you pedestalize them, you're saying that you're better than me, and I'm a sacrificial lamb, and I will do whatever it is in order to make you happy. And you know, I don't like to say irregardless, but regardless of what you want, you circumvent your wants, your needs in order to satisfy that other person. And they will take advantage of it. I mean, that's just human nature. You take advantage of things that you can. And it's a hard lesson to learn. But we live and learn and die and forget, so what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, it, like you said, it's a lesson that we all learn over time about how problematic putting women on pedestals is, and like he said, partnering with women. My wife will tell you, and I will tell you in front of her, we are not partners. Maybe a little bit in business, but as far as in this relationship that has nothing to do with the business side, I'm the leader of the household. The buck stops with Andre because the responsibility stops with Andre. The provision and the problem solving stops with Andre.
Yeah.
The passion and the protection stops with Andre. Whether she judges me by that or whether society judges me by that, she's not my partner. All that, well, where did she come out? She came out of your rib. Yeah. In a child comes out of the father's DNA, but that doesn't make the child the partner of their father. Just because they came from their father's DNA doesn't make them partners.
Great point. I will say this: Do I pedestalize my wife? I do, but differently. I pedestalize her because of her position that she has with me, and because of the position I have. I'm the king or the high priest. She's the queen. So she's elevated from that for that point, but she's not elevated above me, right? She's on a pedestal because I chose her. Of all the women, fine or whatever, that are walking around Colombia, I chose this one, right? So she is on a pedestal, and I refuse to lower my standards by obtaining something else, right?
Absolutely correct, yeah.
So she is on a pedestal because I'm elevated. I think what the doctor's talking about
How you worded that.
I think the way the doctor's talking about is that we elevate the person above us.
Because of that big old button of smile.
Because that big old button of smile, or her, her head game, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while to do that because I understand who I am. And that's the most important thing. My self-schema is the only thing that I have. It's the most important thing that I have. And it took me a while to learn that and to understand that. So, and that's why I made mistakes.
Montrez asked, I agree with you. Montrez asked this question. He said, do you both think that life is moving faster as you get older?
You want to answer that first, or you want me to?
Oh, I'll answer with one word. Yes. Okay. Now on you.
I agree. And the reason why is because as we get older, we understand our mortality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was real simple, real easy to the point. Shout out to David. Dave says that he said this conversation is totally necessary and essential for the growth and development for quality men. I'm speaking for myself. I needed this tonight. Shout out to you and all of you guys that are here tonight. Let's continue on with the video. We're almost done with that part. Let me go back here. Here we go.
Think back to what I said just a few moments ago about the early stages of courtship. The woman is there because the man created an experience for them to enter into. Most likely, the experience did not occur at her convenience, which is what would be necessary if being pedestalized was preferred, nor did it occur as the result of some collaborative process, which is what would be necessary if partnership were.
That is a great point. I'm looking back and thinking back. He said, just in case you guys, why I stopped it. He said that when you first started, I'm going to paraphrase, when you first started dating a female, you didn't center everything around her and her conveniences. You said, we going out on this day at this time, be ready. You didn't sit back and say, well, I would like to do, if you don't mind, I would, if you act like that, she wouldn't go answer your phone call again. You stood on business initially. That's what attracted her. Also, he said, when you first got together, there was no partnering of, well, you set up the dinner, I'll set up the desserts where we're going to have dessert. No, you set up where we're going to have dinner. You set up where we're going to have dessert. You set up if we're going to have drinks afterwards. Are we going to, you as the man set everything up. And women fell in love with the fact, and it's not about the fact that you set everything up, but the woman got a chance to sit back and watch you on business mode, on see what type of man that would you let her run you over or not. I don't know about your home, Todd. Andrea harps on this ever since we've been together. Harps on it. Andrea is, I want my man to be a man's man. Andrea always talk about a masculine man. I want my man, because she'll sit back and we'll be looking at a couple like, why is the guy simping and stuff like that. Andrea look at the video and she'll be like, I couldn't be with a man like that. I could not be with a man soft enough to just give me all his money. I couldn't be with a man that's just so soft that he'll just leave work for me. I need a man's man that's gonna be like, girl, I am not leaving my job for you. You're gonna have to wait. That's how Andrea is. Not a demanding or rude or harsh person, but as you well know, being in this Latin society, these men's version of masculinity, we gotta admit, is a different form of masculinity. So they grew up with guys that, yes, they only make $500 to $700 a month, but these men stand on business. So for me to get on a plane and come to Colombia and be the opposite of what she has seen that masculinity is, see, in our community, masculinity can wane. You know, be strong in the beginning and then compromise all the way through until she divorces you. In Colombia and Brazil, you are expected to hold your masculine frame till death do you part. You am I kidding?
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And even to the point where my wife is experiencing some things for the first time in her life. Right. And she gets stressed out about some things.
Right.
And she wants to know that, number one, I will listen, but not always give an answer. But she can depend on me that if there's something that she needs, some advice or whatever it is, that I'm there and that I'm there and I stand on business for that. You know, I used to be very political. I'm not now because I'm in a foreign country. I can't be political.
Right.
However, I can still maintain certain values and certain understandings and beliefs and stuff like that and apply it to my own life. But my wife is experiencing some things for the first time because she's had the benefit of seeing another culture and another way of looking at something different than what she did from her Colombian frame. And it has blown her mind, right? And it's challenging and difficult sometimes because the things that she's stressed about I'm like, you can't control that. Why is this on your mind all the time and you're stressed about it and you're almost depressed about it? But I have to be that rock of Gibraltar, so to speak, to help her get through it without judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, it's just, and she's literally afraid of a lot of things that are taking place now that she's not ever been accustomed to.
Right.
Because they're just not used, they're not accustomed to the Black experience. We see this stuff all the time, and and it's like water on the duck's back for us. But when other people start to understand and to experience the things that we experience all our lives, we have to use that to our advantage. We have to use that to our advantage. And I know you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Good point. This is an excellent live stream we're doing tonight.
Preferred. It occurred because the man invited the woman into an experience that
bring that part back that he was just mentioning about what women want when they first get with you. They don't want to be put on pedestals and they don't want to be treated as partners. Guys, only in the West are they using that term partner as much as they do. You are not hearing women in Nigeria talk about my partner. You are not hearing Asian women talk about my partner. You do not hear men and women in Poland and Russia and Ukraine talking about my partner. For the most part, that's a westernized term. My wife can't stand that word. She can't stand when people say they use that term partner. I don't know about your wife, and that's none of my business. But my wife, she does not play that. You are my husband.
I'm my wife's husband, but I have to remind her that I had a mother. She's not my mom.
Bruh. You are not alone. I am here with you. Bro, I don't know what it is, but I to a certain extent, Todd, and to all you guys out there who have ever dated and been with Colombianas that really care about you, bruh, you have to remind them that I'm the oldest, you're the youngest. I already had a mother. I don't need another one. I swear they will mother you to where you have to pause, pull the car of life to the side and look at her and say, listen, woman, I've survived this planet for over 60 years. Okay, I'm good. I do not, bruh. But then I learned this, Todd, what kind of keeps me, here's the other side of the coin. I understand that life is preparing her for when I do need somebody to take care of me on that level. When I do need somebody that's gonna pamper me and baby me and treat me like I'm all hers in my late 70s, early 80s. So to a certain extent, it's irritating. But to another extent, you know that life is preparing her to love you to the end of your days.
Yes. But I mean, and this is from the very beginning though. I mean, it's like,
yes.
It's like, okay, breakfast, lunch, dinner, we eat together. Period. And she'll cook breakfast. I mean, she'll get up, dark 30 in the morning, she's cooking breakfast. In the afternoon, hey, it's lunchtime. I could be doing something, hey, it's lunchtime. It's lunchtime. Did you take your medicine? Did you take your vitamins? Did you take this? Did you take that?
Yes.
Yes. Well, no, I didn't see you take it. Just because you didn't see me take it don't mean I didn't do it. Right? I mean,
bruh, you are literally speaking to the Colombian husband to husband choir.
Yeah.
Nothing that you go through in your household is new. I see Andrea's mom is the same way with her dad. I see the uncles and the aunties. They're the women are I don't know what it is about Colombian women that think that their husbands or their boyfriends are their kids. I am not your kid, but they don't hear that.
They don't
in
hear that.
their mind, you are their responsibility
Yep.
100%.
Right.
That's how they look at you.
And especially if you're taking care of business, if they don't do that, they feel useless.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
I don't take care of Todd, some other woman will. That's how. And I think that's what that is to a certain extent, Todd. I think that women in other countries outside the West, even after they get married, they know this is still a competition. They still know there's a competition. If I don't take care of Todd, don't worry. One of them little cute little heifers walking down the street gonna take care of Todd. So let me take care of my man, and I would rather over take care of my man than have any woman feel like she can get just a crease into his life by taking care of him in any way that I can. And I kid you not, man, they still walk around because they've been walking around with that competitive mindset since they were teenagers.
Right.
And it's not like they could turn it off just because now they're married. No, they still think like, if I don't cook for Todd, some other female gonna cook for him. So let me get in there and cook. If I don't make sure Todd is well taken care of when he's ill, some other female will take care of Todd. And that's how they look at it, because they've seen it so much with their uncles and their fathers and their dads and their brothers with side chicks here and side chicks there. And so they're like, I'm not stupid. I know who men are. I'm not going to accuse you of anything, but I'm going to do my best to let you know every day in every way I'm here for you, even though I'm going to drive you crazy with it.
I had an assistant, 17-year-old assistant, one of the females here. I had to get rid of her, not because not because anything nefarious was taking place, but she would come to the office, work for 2 hours a week or whatever, and working on different business projects. And my wife would ask me about the business project, but because I wasn't talking to my wife about it, but I was talking to his assistant, I could see that there was some tension. So I nipped that in the bud before it got I nipped it in the bud right away when I saw it. Just when you and I talked today, I was coming to the office so we could continue our conversation. And there's a neighbor, single female neighbor that lives in the adjacent building. And she had her dog out. And her dog, every time her dog sees me, the dog runs over to me and happy to see me and all that stuff. And it's a American bully.
Right.
My wife is definitely afraid of him. But my wife said that she was going to go somewhere while I went to the office. And so I was walking to the office and the dog jumped over there, and I was, paying attention to the dog. The young lady was there. But then I looked behind me, and then my wife was behind us. And my wife, I guess, made eye contact with the woman. I mean, they do stuff behind our backs that we don't see. And immediately, they were having conversations. My wife said she's afraid of that type of dog. The girl put the leash on the dog and walked away. A lot of these things are subliminal that take place and we don't know about. But the difference is, because we stay in our masculine frame, it's like, I don't know, it's like roses to a bee. Everything that's around us knows that we're there and is trying to be in our close proximity.
Yeah.
And our wives recognize it's a sixth sense. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it because I'm telling you, man, and from my lips to God's ears, I don't want to trade my wife for anything or anybody.
Not at all.
Not at all.
You're not alone, bro.
Yeah.
I want you to know, after this live stream, you can take a deep breath and realize how your wife treats you is the same way Andrea treats me, bro. I kid you not, bro. I'll be feeling like, am I the elder? Am I the 58-year-old one, or is she the 58-year-old one? Because I swear, this woman is like on top of me with everything. Like this, make sure you take care of that. She will sit back and like, okay, your vitamins or your high blood pressure medication. Perfect example. This is a high blood pressure medication I have to take in the daytime. Andrea wrote on here, have to take at night. Take at night. That's what mothers do. Right. Like, girl, babe, I know. It's the green box. Take it at night. Okay, I got the other one. Take it in the morning. I got.
Did you get this? Hey, did you brush your teeth?
How many times? This Colombia. How many times today did you brush your teeth?
Right.
But you kind of understand. Like I said, I don't complain about it because that's how Colombian women are. They are really nurturing, caring type of people. But then I look at it from the perspective like this. I can fuss about it now, but when I'm 70, 80 years old, I am going to need a woman that notices every little thing about me, that can tell if something is right, if something is wrong, got a spidey sense about me, that knows me better than I know myself in my 80s. So I need somebody to have those abilities. So for me to complain about her being mothering sometimes, okay, cool. Because in the United States, I can't get none of these meals. I can't get nobody to mother me. I can't get nobody to care about me and my health in the United States. I can't get nobody to make sure that I drink a certain amount of water, make sure I got a certain amount of this, or somebody to make sure I got a meal every day. I can't get none of this in the States. So let me sit my butt down. Don't complain. It's just something that I'm not used to, that Colombian men are used to, and they are used to their women kind of having this motherly wife dynamic when it comes to spoiling their men. They really do want to spoil you.
But it goes back to what you were saying, is that they, in their masculine frame, that's a demand.
Yeah.
The expectation is they cook, they clean, they wash dishes, they wash clothes. That they take care of the household. That's a demand. Or, I mean, I have a 15-year-old stepson, and he does absolutely nothing around the house. Absolutely nothing.
Is he the youngest or oldest or only?
He's the only boy. He's
And he's a boy in Colombia. Oh yeah, you know how they treat their boys.
Andre drives me crazy. I'm like, dude, I mean, because at 16, at 18, we're out of the household. Here at 16, you're out of school, and if you don't go to university, you go work. You go to work.
That's right. Or military.
And I'm like, dude, you got one more year. And we have to wake him up in the morning to get ready for school. He wants to take, he gets up at 5:30. He's got to be at school at 6:05. He want to take half-hour showers.
Classic.
Right? And from a cultural perspective, drives me nuts. But you also have to understand, I also have to understand that for me to emit emotions and to come off my masculine square is for me to lose the respect of the household because I'm bitching and moaning about cultural shit.
That's not gonna change.
That's not gonna change.
If you got with another Colombiana and she had a kid, or if you got with a Colombiana and she had a boy up for you, and y'all had a boy son, a Colombian woman gonna treat your own boy son the exact same way. If you are born a boy in Latin community, you get spoiled by your mother in a way. I'm talking about, you think she like that when he's 16? Wait till he turned 36. It's gonna be the same. It does not wane. Andrea's mom about Andrea's brother is this boy almost 30. You would think he going on 13. You would think he's going on the Colombian women, Latin women, and their sons. It is some type of a spiritual link.
Yeah.
That we look at it like it's kind of weird. Now,
Yes.
I'm not saying in the sense of any sexual weirdness.
Right.
I'm talking about how sensitive these women are, and their sons could be almost adults or adults.
Correct.
Like Andrea's uncle. Andrea's uncle is about in his 40s. Grandma's favorite child out of all her 6 or 7 kids is her first boy. Forget them girls, all them girls she got. Her first boy, that's her baby. Grandma is in her 70s. Son is in his 40s. You would think he was 14 years old. they spoil their boys on a level you guys have never seen. It's just a cultural thing. You can't fight against it. And that's what Todd was saying. No use of getting emotional about it, because even if you, like some of you guys say, well, I would leave. Okay, leave. And if you get with another Colombiana or another Brazilian woman or a Puerto Rican or Dominican woman, it's the exact same thing towards boys.
Yes.
Latin women, when they are mothers, whether it be to your son or any son, they have a connection with their sons that you can't do anything about it. You just got to sit back and ride it out.
And if you did complain about it, that's one of the slippery slopes about you coming off your frame. That lessens their view of you as a man.
Yeah, that's a good point that Ronan made. Ronan said he said our women know what they get with you as gentlemen. Absolutely correct. We do bring other things to the table that they bring certain quality. I think it's a give and take. And Ronan them was kind of mentioning that last night on his show. I think it's kind of a give and take. We bring some benefits from our culture that we are appreciative of being able to bring to new cultures, and the women that we meet in other countries introduce us to things that we don't get in the West. So I think it's a quid pro quo type of situation, whereas the women in foreign countries, their men, machismo, and when it comes to us with women in our countries, they are feminist and modernist. So in order to jail what we want, the foreign woman and the American man or the Canadian man, we kind of both are looking for the same thing. And I think that's why we work so well together, because we both are looking for the exact same thing. And that's to get away from these two crazy people right here. The crazy.
Well, I think I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to be controversial. You call it feminism. I think the challenge that many women in the West have is they don't know that they're operating in a masculine frame.
True.
And so they call it feminism, but it's really they're operating in their masculine frame. And if I'm a heterosexual man, I'm not interested in a woman who tries to be more manly than me.
Correct. I love how you word. That's not controversial. That's facts.
Okay.
That's facts. I don't find it attractive at all either. Let's finish off some of these last parts of the video.
He created using his power, autonomy, creativity, and resources. Women teach men that this works by responding positively to this structure, and men deviate from what works at their own risk. So how exactly does this happen? I'm going to describe the moment when the man begins to cede frame to the woman so that you can recognize it and respond to it appropriately. I call this moment the beginning of the end, because failing to respond appropriately puts the relationship on a slippery slope toward dissolution, or worse, an expensive, unsatisfying marriage. This occurs when A, the man is sufficiently emotionally invested, and B, the woman, directly or indirectly, wants something from the man that he authentically doesn't want to give. The request could be big, let's get married, let's move in together, or small, let's go antiquing on Sunday, let's go to brunch with all my couple friends. But in general, the requests start small and escalate over time. Now, if the man weren't emotionally invested, this wouldn't be a problem. He would just say no. Because, as I talk about in Women Are a Roll of the Dice, he isn't gambling with more than he can afford to lose. However, once he crosses a certain point, he comes to believe that he can no longer say no, even though he would like to, because he fears the consequences of doing so. He fears the discomfort that will arise in himself in seeing his woman angry or disappointed. He fears the pain that he would experience were she to leave him. Once that fear takes hold, which is the consequence of his overinvestment, he is no longer a free man, and he increasingly abandons his authenticity in favor of emotional defensiveness. He's trying to protect himself. The issue, of course, is that this doesn't work. That fear is a liar. It lies. It only takes like 10 seconds to see through the lie. Namely, if you actually needed to give a woman certain things that you don't authentically want to give in order to prevent her from leaving, then she would have left by now. You haven't given her those things in the past, and you've gotten this far. You've abided in your authenticity, and she was attracted to you because of it.
Yep.
So on some level, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
That's a great point that he just made. Some of the things that we're willing to compromise to do and give women, the deeper we get into friendships, relationships, or what have you, those weren't even the things that initially attracted her to us anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You going to the, like you say, the Saturday morning boutiques, that was not what initially caused her to open up her legs anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to do boutiques. You going out to brunch with other couples did not cause her to open up her legs to you initially.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't need to go out to lunch with couples to get her. But we as men tend to compromise in the West. And now we're doing brunches and now we're doing boutiques. And the women are like, that's because I could tell that you're going to compromise. I can sit back and look at you and say, okay. How many times have we heard this, Todd, from women? I didn't ask you to do that. I didn't tell you to give me that money.
So it's a recording.
I didn't tell you to paint my house. I'm sorry, but I did not tell you to buy me a car. You bought that car on they will remind you, you did it under the assumption, let's be real, you painted my house, you gave me that money, you bought me that expensive dog because you assumed if you didn't do it, I was going to leave you.
Mm-hmm.
And then because you didn't have to buy the dog to get her initially, you didn't have to paint the house to get her initially.
Mm-hmm.
But then down the road, we compromise and we think somehow, some way, if I don't do these things, she'll leave me. But like the doctor just said, that's a lie, because if it took these things over here to keep her, it would have taken those things to even get her.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you say, I'm not doing the boutique this weekend, she's not going to leave you.
Right.
Because it didn't take a boutique to get her anyway.
Right.
But men compromise.
I think that I agree with what he said. I agree with 100% what you said. I think one of the things missing from the conversation he has is culturalism. For example, the first time that, after we're married and we're going to go to Santa Ana, I'm thinking, okay, just me and her, we're going to get on a plane, we're going to Santa Ana.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I realize, cousins, nephews, nieces, I'm like, what the hell? Everybody got a plane ticket, everybody got their bags, and we all going, and that was a rude awakening. So when we talk about vacation, everybody going. That was a cultural shift for me. I couldn't just say, no, I ain't going.
Right, of course.
Right. But, there are times where, she's wanting to go see the grandbaby. I'm like, okay, I ain't going. Not because I don't want to see the grandbaby. It's because I don't feel like being on a 2-hour bus ride and be uncomfortable, so I'm not going to do it. And, when she's with her for their family, I already know that I'm not going to get a phone call. I'm not going to get a text every 2 hours because she's with family.
Right.
So, she might leave at 9 in the morning and I might not talk to her till 7 when she get on the bus to come back.
That's your girl.
That's the cultural. That's the culture.
That's it. Believe you me. Andrea will get in the truck. She'll leave, go over to her mom's house. They'll be watching soccer, or they just be doing the latest ladies gossip over tea or whatever. And I might get one text once a week if she's over her mom's house. But I'm not worried because I already know where she is.
Exactly.
And then she'll come home as if she was gone 15 minutes.
Exactly.
So you kind of like, but and I'm like you. When I first came to get to know the family, I was always at the family this, the family that, the family this. But as I got more busy, and Andrea was still asked to this day, she said, "Do you want to go to the mom house with me?" I'm like, "No, I got homework to do, or I got classwork to do with Theo." And so she'll say, "Okay, tell everybody I said hi," and then she'll come back and say, because you've heard this before, they were asking about you.
Exactly. Well, hell, I don't understand what half the people saying anyway.
Right. But they ask, but they care about you, right? They go Theo. Theo pop. So yeah. So it is what it is. So I sit back, and Andrea understands that about me now, but she understands that because I stay in frame. In other words, Andrea can trust that Andre is going to say, "I've got homework to do," or "I've got writing to do," or "I've got this or that to do," or "I planned on going to the gym." But tell your family I said hi, just the gym. Compared to, and let's go back to what we were talking about earlier, Todd. A lot of times a woman will leave you because you compromised what you really were going to do. Now you're out of frame, and now they can't trust you to be in frame. And so I'm going to continue to harp on that. A woman will fall out of trust with you and then fall out of respect for you and still be in love with you. I hope some of you guys caught that. She will fall out of trust. She can't trust you to walk in that initial masculinity that she was attracted to when you guys first started. Now, I'm not saying routines. Notice I didn't say that, because life goes like this with your routines. So everybody knows that one year you're doing this, the next year you're doing that. I'm not saying that you live in the same routines. I'm saying when it comes to your character. That's what this whole episode is about. When you are dating women internationally, they are looking at your character, and can you be consistent with your character? Whether other people around the world call it negative character or positive character, can you be consistent with it? Because what another woman might say, that your character is too harsh, it's too rude, it's too mean. Your woman will look at it like, that's how he is. That's how he is. And she's not going to, she wants to make sure that you don't lose frame of that character, even though the rest of the world might say he's grouchy or he's mean. Doesn't matter. She loves it. She loves it, and she wants to make sure that you stay grouchy and mean for the next 4,000 days, because that's what one of the things she likes about your character. But if you start waning or sugarcoating who you are, now she's fallen out of trust, the trust that you're going to be who you said you were going to be in the beginning. And now she no longer respects you, even though she still madly loves you. And she'll be in love. I've seen women, Todd, when I got divorced, I saw women in tears wanting their husbands and didn't want the divorce, but they knew that the best thing was to leave their man because they couldn't trust him to be a man. I mean, no women was me and my ex-wife was looking like, because we was friends at that time period. So we looking like, man, this is crazy. We seeing people getting up in court, because this was one of those courts where they had like 15 different couples going for divorce, and they were like, dang, ooh, that's rough. And we saw a couple of wives just get up. It was like, I don't want to divorce him, but it was almost like, I got to, because I can't trust him anymore to be the man by way of his character, not about his money. I know we always want to say, any woman gonna be with you if you got money. That's true. There's a lot of women that's got divorced a man and he had money. So it's not about the money. It's about your character. Can you be? And I'm talking. The reason why I'm saying this, and I know I'm sounding like I'm rambling a minute. The reason that I'm saying this like this, guys, Todd and I are trying to introduce some of us, including Ronan, and then some of you other guys that are in relationships with international women. We are trying to introduce some of you guys that are still in the States and that will be dating women on a regular basis, or in a relationship with women on a regular basis. On an international point of view, it's different from the States. That's what this whole episode is about. Is to prepare you guys to let you know certain things are the same. Yes, you're gonna have to vet her. Yes, you're gonna meet the family. Yes, this, yes, that. Certain things are just women being women globally. But there are certain things that women internationally expect of you that women in the West don't. And women internationally expect you to hold your masculine frame, whatever that was when you brought it to the table. Whatever it was when she fell in love with you, whether you were a quiet guy, whether you were an animated guy, whether you were a strong-willed person, or whether you were a person that was like Clark Kent. Whatever it was she fell in love with, can you do that for 4,000 days? If you can't, she gonna leave you.
Yeah.
She needs you to be consistently you, not anybody else. That's the cool part. She's not looking for you to be anybody else in these other countries. They're looking for you to be the consistency of you, whatever that is. Am I correct?
100%.
All right. Let's
talk to your producer off camera.
Oh, talk to my producer?
Yeah.
Theo?
No, your wife, your producer off camera.
Oh no.
Is she agreeing?
No, she's in the room.
Oh, okay.
She's in the room. She just got back from her mom's house, maybe about a good 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Let's continue on with the video.
There is no evidence that not doing something you feel conflicted about will threaten the basis of the relationship, and a lot of evidence that doing what you authentically want to do will secure the levels of success and stability that you've enjoyed up until now. So that's how the fear lies. Just like the initial stages of courtship, it's generally a much better idea for men to maintain frame over the course of the relationship. This is what I'll do. This is what I won't do. And allowing the woman to either opt in or out as she so chooses. Of course, not getting what they want in the short term can be frustrating and disappointing to a woman. And that's okay. That's okay. She's entitled to her feelings, and you don't have to make her feel differently. Let her feel how she's going to feel. It's not going to kill her, and it won't kill you to let her experience her emotions. She's an adult. She can handle her feelings. You do not need to make her feel better, and you do not need to give her what she wants just to avoid this experience. That said, there may always be a pull in men to do one or the other. However, I bring this up because it is so much easier to resist these emotional impulses when they first present themselves. As difficult as it may be, it is always better to fight these battles when they are still small, because they will only get bigger and more difficult to win with reinforcement. We don't like to talk about it, but being in a position of power often means that you have to deny and reject others. Consider a professional relationship between an employer and an employee.
I want to hear what you have to say about that part, because that was profound, and that's a good point. Being in a position of power means that you are going to have to accept the fact that you're going to have to sometime reject others.
Yeah, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yes, sometimes you have to say no to your woman, type of thing.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to say no. It's. They're going to be financial conversations. Hey, we don't have this. Okay, we don't have it.
Right. Right.
It doesn't mean that you're not going to do something to go get it, but And I think that that's the difference. Sometimes they will say something that we don't have financially or whatever, but they know that you're a person that will make it happen. And so it's a test. It's a test, you know? Like I said, I was college professor for 24 years. When the college made me decide for me to stay in the US and not be with my family, or be with my family and lose the job, I chose my family.
Right.
So it's like, okay, they denied the unemployment, they denied this, they denied that, and they tried to bury me and leave me destitute. My wife knew it, but it was never a conversation. Oh, you know, you're not the man. You know, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I trust you. So it doesn't mean that things have been easy, but here we are. I still make more than, you know, most men here in Colombia, supporting a house. We don't have all the things that we had when I was a college professor, but we're building to exceed that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I also created I can create websites. I don't know if you've seen my website with the international. We'll talk about that later.
Right.
But I also create websites. Why? Because it's a way in which it's easy for me to do and can generate revenue. But just understand that my wife chose not to work. I said, you can if you want to. I'm not forcing you to. But if you want to, I have no issue with that. If you want to just take care of the household, and that's fine with me. But I haven't lost my frame. I didn't say, hey, you know what? We're having problems. You need to get a job. It's like, no, I have the ability to do it. And I trust in the Most High that that's what's going to be done. Whether she believes it or not, that's on her. If at any point in time they wanted to leave for whatever reason, I'm not holding anybody hostage. I don't have, you know, chains on the wall to keep anybody with me if they don't want to be. And I think that when you project that to people and you stay in your frame and you know who you are, that you're going to be successful regardless of what this particular season is, they can't do anything but respect that. True.
That is so true.
12 years of homework.
Oh man, I thought Andrea was here. She just walking in the door.
Oh, okay. Your producer. Okay. Tell her I said hello.
I will. I definitely will. Okay, let's continue on with the video. Hey, babe. Andrea, you just getting here? Yeah. I thought you was here for about a good hour. No, I just got here. All right. Todd told me to tell you hi. Everybody on the channel. She said hello. You definitely, yeah. I thought she was already here. I thought I heard her come in. My bad. Let's continue on with the video. We won't be too much longer at all.
Can you imagine a company in which the employees were allowed to dictate their own compensation packages? Since everyone pretty much believes they deserve more than they receive, it's very likely that that strategy would make that company insolvent very quickly. And then everyone would be out of a job, including the employer. Whether employees are aware of it or not, their continued employment often depends on their not getting what they want. Of course, this is a balance. Give people everything that they want and you threaten the basis of the relationship. It becomes insolvent. However, give people too little of what they want and they protest and leave. That said, while the second option is potentially inconvenient, it should be preferred to the first, as it doesn't also result in the destruction of the company. So it's better to err on the side of giving too little than too much. In general, the price of getting most of what you want is the willingness to forego getting everything that you want. Remember, a woman who sees you as her best option is not going to leave her when you tell her no. On the other hand, the more you tell her yes, That is, the more you give her what she wants, the more expensive and difficult the relationship will become for you. Catering to her desires, usually due to emotional overinvestment, increasingly transfers control of the frame to the woman, which often signals the beginning of the end of the relationship. However, this can be prevented by recognizing and tolerating your own fear and choosing not to surrender to its behavioral impulses. What do you think? Does this fit with your own experience? Let me know in the comments below. And please, please, guys, send this episode to someone who you think might benefit from its message. I know you know somebody who needs to hear this because it's word of mouth referrals like this that really help to make the channel grow. You want more? You can join my free weekly newsletter. I write original content for that every week. You can book an individual one-on-one paid consultation on my website. There's my book, The Value of Others. It's all about relationships, and my member community, the Captain's Quarters, where I do group consultations every month and do Q&As with invited guests. Links to everything are in the description below. As always, I appreciate your support and thank you for listening.
All right, Doc. Shout out to you.
Leave her alone, bro. Not because you stopped.
Oh, we do have the last part.
Stopped caring, but because you care.
Support and thank you for listening.
Leave her alone, bro. Not because you stopped caring, but because you cared longer than you should have. You gave her chances when she gave you confusion. You gave her patience when she gave you mixed signals. You showed up consistently while she showed up only when it was convenient. And the hardest part to admit isn't that she didn't choose you, it's that you kept choosing her even when she made it clear you weren't a priority. You stayed solid. You stayed available. You stayed hoping one day she'd wake up and finally see you the way you saw her. Hoping one day she'd match your effort, your energy, your care. But she didn't, not because you weren't enough, but because she was comfortable. She liked knowing you were there. She liked the attention, the validation, the way you made her feel wanted, but she never wanted to give that same certainty back. You weren't her first choice. You were her safety net, her backup plan, her just in case. And staying in that position slowly destroys you. You start questioning yourself, start wondering if you're asking for too much, start lowering your standards just to keep her around. You tell yourself, maybe she's just busy, maybe she's scared, maybe if I'm more patient she'll change. But deep down you know the truth. Someone who truly wants you won't make you feel like you're fighting for their attention. They won't leave you guessing where you stand. They won't only show up when it benefits them. So leave her alone, not out of anger, not out of ego, not to prove a point. Leave her alone out of respect for yourself, because the moment you stop texting first, stop checking her stories, stop replaying conversations in your head, stop making excuses for her absence, you'll feel it, that quiet, that peace, and it'll feel unfamiliar at first because you've been living in chaos for so long you forgot what calm feels like. But that peace is real. It's the peace of no longer forcing something that was never meant to be mutual. The peace of choosing yourself after constantly choosing someone who wouldn't choose you back. She had her chance. She saw your heart. She saw your effort. She saw what you were willing to give. And if she didn't value you then, don't give her another opportunity to waste you again, because the right person won't need convincing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Anything that you like to share in regards to what the doctor said, or in closing before we let you go, brother?
Yeah, in regard to the doctor, and maybe I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I know that you're probably the same way. I don't expect anybody to be able to do the same things that I do in a relationship. I don't, because they can't be me, right? I can't expect someone to run a mile that can't walk. So the level of expectation I have for myself, I don't expect anybody to be able to match that and meet me at the same level, at the same place. So I'm okay with that. Does that make sense at all?
Correct.
So
we're all different.
We're all different. And so for someone to say they don't meet you at the same level, they don't do this the same way that you do, you're not accepting the differences that other people have. And that's the beauty of relationships, is that when you're at one place, they're at another, and then coming together with that makes it even stronger and better. So I think that that's the most important thing. So I appreciate this conversation. This was very timely. And all of your shows are excellent. And I just appreciate the opportunity once again to be on your platform and to share with you and your audience. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah. Before we go, I like to introduce the guys once again to your newsletter.
Okay. Yeah, my newsletter, I have two newsletters. One is called the Daily Sit Rep. And what I do is I inform people of what changed overnight. It's a daily newsletter that comes in your email in the morning, and it covers world events. But what is important about the world events is it tells you how it impacts your life at what stage of life that you're in. So if you are a retiree, pre-retiree, a digital nomad, or an international investor, the SIT report tells you about the news, and it tells you how you can react and respond to that in order to improve your income, education, lifestyle, health, and legacy. And so the brief, the Severio brief that you're looking at now, is a weekly publication that gives you all of the week's events, but then I also give you a forecast of what I see is going to be taking place within the next 90 days. And so, and it gives a probability, tells you my success rate of the 10 forecasts that I've had, that 3 that actually reported, I've been 100%. The other ones are going to actually take place in late July, early August. And so I'll let the group know, how my predictions are, if I'm Nostradamus or not, so people can pretty much figure that out. But these newsletters are designed to help people, especially guys or women or people that are pre-retirement, that are looking to go or to move abroad. My website, Severio.com, has a diagnostic that they can take for free that gives them the top 3 countries that will align with their values and what they're looking to do. And then I have country reports on that website that they can buy or download that gives them the ins and outs of those countries, that they can make the choice and decisions as to, to visit or what they can expect when they move there. So this is not, I'm not a travel vlogger. I'm not one that a broker where I'll tell you to get a passport and then give you off to somebody that pays me a commission. I don't do any of that. I'm intelligence research. I give you the information. You can evaluate it. You can also have a consultation with me. We evaluate it together. But most importantly, you can make a choice and decision that will impact your life and your prodigy. The goal is to live our best life. And I want to be very strategic and helpful in that, because if I'm able to help people live their best life, then I live longer in my existence than the 120 years that I'm promised by the Most High.
There we go. That's what's up. And so for those guys out there, I've already signed up a while back for Todd's newsletters. If you guys want to sign up for his newsletters, especially if you're trying to get the latest up-to-date information when it comes to finance, economics on a global basis, you definitely want to sign up for the newsletter. And of course, if you want any type of consultation when it comes to Bogota or relocating in relationships in Colombia, you can always reach out to Todd as well. Reach out to Todd in regards to his websites and his newsletters.
But I do want to preface this as well. If you're going to Colombia, you got to shout out the Godfather first. We got to follow protocol, right? I mean, we got to be vetted. And I'm going to say here's why. Colombia has been getting bad press with passport brothers who are coming down here for whatever reason. I mean, there's about 10 guys that just got turned around because they have professional video equipment, all that other kind of stuff. Listen, if you're coming down here for some kind of skullduggery, right? This is why we get bad reputations as Black men in particular. There are ways that you can go about doing that. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but there are ways that you can do things, but you got to do it correctly and with respect. So one way to vet it, for me, and I'm sure for him, he's going to say, hey, I'm coming to Colombia. Well, did you talk to Todd?
Right.
Hey, I'm coming to Colombia. Did you talk to Andre? Because we've got to, you guys can do whatever you want, you come wherever you want, but you're not going to, we can't vouch for you if we have too much to lose than over some BS stuff.
Yeah. Shout out to you. Shout out to brothers like T Mac and Will over there in Medellin. Shout out to all you guys, man. He'll say, yeah. He said, yeah, and God is giving you 120 years of homework, gentlemen.
It never stops. It never stops.
Nope. It doesn't. Shout out to you guys. And once again, I want to say I appreciate you, Todd, man. And I appreciate our friendship. I appreciate I have somebody I can talk to in regards to the wife and life in Colombia dynamic. And you don't feel like, don't have to feel like I'm isolated down here, which I don't, but it's just good to know that there are other brothers that are like-minded in this community, man. And you are appreciated. You are always welcome to be on this channel as you are, promoting whatever it is you got coming down the turnpike. Let us know. Once again, guys, sign up for his newsletters. You will not regret it. I promise you that. You will not regret it. And that, once again, is men supporting men type of content. So you definitely be happy with that, especially information on the economic basis or economic scale on a global basis. So I'm about to get ready to do the outro video. You want to hang out with me until I do the outro video? It takes a minute to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Shout out to all you guys that were here that support the channel by way of PayPal, Cash App, Super Chats. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys with all the monies that you've donated that have gone to medication for those in Venezuela. Shout out to you guys. We got a chance to even donate a bunch of clothes this past week as well. So shout out to you guys in regards to that. Tomorrow is Monday off because I got homework with Theo. So Monday is off, gentlemen. Monday is off. I'll be seeing you guys on Tuesday. But definitely, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Shout out to Ronan being in the building. If you're doing a live stream tonight, Ronan, let me know so we can drop the link so guys will know. They'll be mourning over where you guys are. Shout out to Zeta. He say, just what we need, more bad publicity. Dummies giving Colombia. Yeah, for you guys that haven't heard. Yeah, they stopped 10 dudes. Todd is right. 10 brothers, just a couple days ago, coming into the airport. These dudes had professional scorn equipment to make movies, and they had the lighting, and they had y'all doing too much, bruh. Y'all doing too much. Y'all worse than the white brothers when the white brothers be coming down here with like 19 dildos for the ladies and butt plugs and all that stuff. Y'all worse than the white brothers. Y'all coming down here with scorn video camera equipment. I mean, top of the line lighting and top of the line equipment, top of the line cameras. Like, what do y'all think, man? Yeah. So they turned them right. They turned them right around, and all this is just confirming why they are being so scrutinizing when it comes to Americans. I can understand it now. I kid you not. We are making ourselves look bad. We are making ourselves look real bad. But let's get ready to do the outro video. Let's do let's go. We always have fun with the outro video from Cape Verde. So let's enjoy the Cape Verde. Oh, we can do the Blasian. Let's see. Let's do the Cape Verde.
You say it's special, one of a kind, one of the better boys. I'm on your level, that's what you say, but all I hear is noise. I don't have time for trying my luck. I've been too hurt before. You're not that special, just give it up. I think I've had enough. I'm too busy loving my friends. I ain't got no love to spare for you. I'ma be that girl to the end. It don't really matter what you do. Guess I have to tell you again, 'cause you haven't got the news. Oh, you really need to understand that I don't wanna be your girlfriend. No, I don't wanna be your girlfriend. All I want is time with my girlfriend. So I don't wanna be your girlfriend. I know you want me, boy, I can can tell, so deep under my spell. Sorry, not sorry, that I'm no help, cause I'm full of myself. Boy, don't you worry, you'll find someone who wants you back, but that is not me. So give it up, haven't you had enough? I'm too busy loving my friends, I ain't got no love to spare for you. I'ma be that girl to the end, it don't really matter what you do. Guess I have to tell you again, cause you haven't got